the time of this recording now, we're in another catapult into the future again. It's now Wednesday, May 8th, according to what we see here on the top. Wednesday, May 8th. That is 4 weeks after this particular email here that was sent from my mom that we reviewed in the prior video. Let's have one thing in mind here. Let's keep in mind the one quote of hers from the middle of her short email here. This letter that she promised, in essence, will be delivered to you in a few days. Okay. Context. If you're in a position that this woman, Barbara, is in, you really want to make a genuine atonement and reconciliation, somehow earn forgiveness with your son, genuinely, fully, authentically, do you risk ever saying anything that is off, a promise or word not kept? You just let it recklessly break again, especially if you've been guilty of doing the same that pattern for a while. You do it again. So anyone will see, well, if she were actually careful, no, it would be extremely reckless for any woman in her position to do this. Keep this in mind. Number one, on April 10th, that was the date that she wrote this letter, this email rather. She said, "Oh, the letter will be delivered to you in a few days." Keep that promise in mind. Okay. Aside from all that other nonsense that we reviewed that she wrote, I didn't give you permission, this and this. Now, this whole response from me to her, this was reviewed in the prior thing, yeah? You reviewed this whole thing. My gosh. Right at the end, you owed me better than this. Now, for a while there's some back and forth. For a while it looked like things were potentially going in at least halfway the right direction. So I don't necessarily run to post about every email. I only do it when there's a wave, and the wave ends in nonsense and another moral default. So then the whole set of emails is the narrative of the new storyline that went to the new again moral default. So now I'm having, yes, that we're there again. You'll see. I have to do it all again to review now more for another update. Okay. I might have covered this in the past email. I believe I did. In case I didn't, it's here. One can pause and review. But I believe I did, if memory serves me right. Now let's move forward. So what is it that happened now? Around the time frame of April 10th, we're expecting the promised letter from her in a few days. By the way, let's review the context where she said this. Is there any implication here that this letter of hers would be delivered pursuant to a meeting that she said somewhere in here in hidden words? Oh, the letter will be delivered to you in a few days. When we're sitting together in a meeting is when I'll deliver to you. Do you see any of that there? Look carefully. No, of course you don't, number one. And number two, furthermore, that wouldn't make sense. If there's a meeting you discuss because you're face to face, you don't need a letter. Letters are for when you can't reach people directly face to face or through a live conversation. That's what you give letters for. All right, that makes sense. Keep this in mind, please, everybody, because this gets crazy. Let's skim forward. Now, that's April 10th, April 11th, as we found, on and on and on and around here. Somewhere is where we left off. We continue forward. So what came next? Let's see. Boom, skipping forward. About 3 or so days went by. What's the first moral default? You see, she didn't even bother writing anything. So, what does a man do? Okay, now 72 hours or so went by, nothing. Follow up again. I wrote to her, please, in response to her initial, again, setting up the moral default potentially. We'll walk that dog home, as we see. I wrote to her saying, please properly follow up on or respond to the matters raised within the other email thread or recent issues raised there. That is all of which I covered in the email. Now, I wrote it to her in an email. Moreover, what she's about to say in response to this, she just says in response to this, now 3 days after that, I finished all the videos except the last one which we recently produced. She said, we'll contact you once I'm done with everything, probably this weekend. I hadn't strictly heard anything in the contrary, so when you're dealing with normal people, you assume she kept her word unless she tells you otherwise. With her, everything's opposite, so now I'm not even so sure she did. Nothing sure with her. So we continue. You know what manipulative women do? They don't know how to keep your attention otherwise, so they figure if I give you a hard time, that still gets me attention. This is the parasitical women. One who doesn't care about your dignity, they'll trample on you, because trampling on you to make you react is still a reaction. So that's what saturates their mind frame of like, okay, I'm secured on anything. Any reaction is okay if you're a psycho woman, in essence. So you get what I'm saying? Interesting theory of life, right? In life, right? But it's true. Victimizers, spit on it, rebuke it, show it for what it is, and then establish that that's what it appears to be. Yeah, guilty, guilty. And you get condemnation. Now you have a messianic world, not the world we're in now. See the difference? Let's continue. So she finally responds saying, I finished all the videos. Now that she said this, okay, amazingly, one short email, nothing wrong with it. These emails there's nothing wrong with it. Very rare. Usually one or two sentences is all that can be handled to produce from her, that nothing goes wrong. So, okay, if she's acting in good faith, I have to leave her in the presumption that she's acting in good faith. So we're going to hang and wait. And now, the response comes from me a couple days later. I simply say, regarding your... Now, mind you, where are these letters, by the way? The date's April 18th now. See this? It's 8 days later. Well, she said she essentially promised that she'd give me those letters in a couple days or few days after April 10th. Now, 8 days have gone by. No letters. Funny games again unfolding? That's how it is, but we're going to see how that goes. We're going to keep walking that dog down. Remember, April 10th was the original promise date. Or actually even before, when she first brought it up. Wow, we're in the middle of May now, almost. So, let's resume here. Now, there she was, saying that she finally watched all the videos. Well, we've been waiting months, since mid-January for this to happen. 3 months for her to do it, where she said it would take a few days, instead it takes a few months. Yeah, there's another default. There's another moral offense. There's another sin, in essence. Let's keep ticking off those tick boxes. Anyone who wants to keep track of all the things she's guilty of, good time to pause and add that onto the long, long list. Right? Resume and ready? Okay, we're resuming here. So, I wrote to her. In response to saying that she watched all the videos, I wrote that. Regarding your progress, okay, on the watching and your completing of those videos, that's good. This is the first thing that's just good. So, I got a reward, or got to give her the reward, because who knows how these types work? You punish when it's bad, but if you do only punishment and don't give sufficient reward when they're good, you got to give acknowledgement. That's good. Does this nourish her mind? I tell her this is good, so she becomes trained to know that, in essence, that, okay, I don't want to mess up, that I ever stop getting this validation. You should work for positive validation and not just screw it up whenever you want. It's not she continues. Goes on to say, I go on to tell her, when you are finished with all those, including the last one that you say you're going to work on, right? I tell her thereafter that this finishing of videos by you may possibly be the appropriate time to, consider any potential further steps, including what? Including meeting in person. And as a side note, what did we already indicate multiple times within the text here that is required for the potentiality of such a further meeting to become fully merited and manifest? Well, she would need to apologize for the cancellation of the previous meetings that she did recklessly, carelessly with me and Anthony, where both me and Anthony multiple times, once in May of the prior year and then in August of the prior year, we're both like, what the fuck, Barbara? What the fuck, lady? You don't do that. That's not good with us. And she was, remember, both times she was like, oh, no, it's okay. There's no problem. What? I can do what I want. And then now she's like, oh, come on, let's meet. And now you wonder why you... Right, you have to be sorry first for the original thing you did. You threw away that we were meeting before, and now you expect that it's just, you're gonna pick it back up, you're gonna find it whenever you want, that you could just walk back up to it, pick it up, and have it. Now it's yours again. No. You need to show that you want to katana yourself because you're so guilty about how you're so fucked up inside about how you fucked up before. Nothing else is possible. I've shared this scene before. Wherever. I'll just share it again. You need to get the point.
Fellas, using that dress properly, he's gonna have to leave.
Properly?
Jimmy!
What's wrong with the way we're dressed?
What's up? This gentleman ain't dressed right. I asked him to leave.
Is there a problem here? The problem is your man here says we're not properly dressed. Like our money ain't green. We just want a couple of beers.
A few beers, that's it.
That's it. We'll be on our way. We ain't looking for trouble.
Spoke like a gentleman. Give me the beers. Go ahead.
I appreciate that.
Okay, this is analogous to when the mother who is in initial default is even presumably acting like she could possibly be willing to be acting in good faith and come to the resolution. So me and my former witness Anthony are even giving her a chance that we should meet with her. You see? We extend the courtesy. So properly, you're in default. You're the one in default, Barbara. Get it in context. You're the one who's in default, biker guys there. Get it in context. But you represent, look, we know we're in default, but we still are asserting that we're willing to properly walk that dog home in good faith. Okay, so we give you the grace. We'll allow you to stay. And then what do you do with that grace? You shit on it?
You got some brews down here, nice cold ones. Get us some nice cold brews. Come on. Two over here, huh? One more over here, one more.
All right, brothers, if I may, a toast to our host.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Look at all these skittles right now. Hey!
See? And in response to the grace, they do what? Typical narcissistic cluster-B behavior. They recross the boundary again of the, oh, well, now that I was affirmed that I could do whatever I want, no, I thought I could do whatever, now I'm going to do whatever I want again. Uh-oh, God. You can't possibly be that stupid, human race. You're all going to learn. It's just that simple. So, proceeding here, this is analogous. Like, this is showing a lack of appreciation that we're even meeting with them in the first place back in May, back in August. Just, no. Oh, I'm not going to meet. I'm going to cause up trouble again. Like the little scorpion she is. So, correctly, what needs to happen, what proceeds?
Oh, you again, huh?
That wasn't very nice. Now he's got to leave.
I'll tell you when the fuck we leave, all right? Get the
Now we say, oh, now we can't meet. And then she in her mind, I decide when we meet. When I don't want to meet, we won't meet. But then when I want to meet, oh, I'm going to be pressing in, yeah, you had better be meeting with me then, right? The narcissism never ends, you get it? So, how does a proper godly enforcement manifest? Uh-huh.
Watch the bites,
Now you can't leave.
I will never forget the look on their faces. All 8 of them. Their faces dropped. All their courage and strength was drained right from their bodies. They had a reputation.
You understand? Oh, you weren't willing to leave when I asked you to leave? Now you can't leave. What part of this matrix that you live in don't you get? You didn't want to meet with us, with me and Anthony, and with me really especially, multiple times prior that you just threw it away? Now you can't meet with me. See? That's correct. A God program-based equity, perfect sense. That's justice. Anything other than justice is a breakage of God's program. Never break God's program, because then you become under God's wrath. Always stay in the perfect shade. You people don't know how this works. I don't know why.
For breaking up bars. But they knew that instant they made a fatal mistake.
The only problem, the only difference is that these men, maybe because they're men, I don't know, or maybe because this was back in the day, even they realize they made the mistake. In this case, the woman here, Barbara, doesn't even realize that there's any mistake. It's even worse. It's just still like, huh? What do you mean, huh? Uh-oh. Well, someone's going to have to learn a lesson eventually. That's it. So, let's track if she learned. We continue. I resume where I was writing the email to her. And we could all naturally agree, those of us who have a sense and a mind and a brain properly, and we understand these things. I continue on there after try to her. I say, listen, importantly, I left off. Now, before addressing the matters within that Rebuke of Barbara Winslow playlist, that is, as a side note, the playlist that she assured us that she finished, I write to her. If you say you've watched everything else besides this, does this mean you've also watched all 4 videos of the Anthony Rebuke thing? Because there didn't seem to be full clarity around that, and I have to make doubly sure this is clear. Why am I asking? Number one, I asked her to watch this at a higher priority level and first before she turned to the rest of the stuff. So if she's saying she watched all the rest of the stuff, it should necessarily imply that she watched this, but I'm making double sure. We end up finding out the answer. Continue. I go on to ask her furthermore. If so, then, pursuant to what I asked you to do before, regarding this Anthony matter, that is, I continue to write to her, I ask you again, do you agree with me or with Anthony within that matter? Who's right, who's wrong? Mind you, already a witness who I hired, another witness, Gabby, who I hired off of Craigslist, already agrees when, after reviewing 18 hours of that matter, that I'm the one in the right. Anthony's essentially completely the one in the wrong. So we understand the context within which why this is brought up to my mom here. The short version of the story is for my witness here, say even Fallon, who doesn't understand the details of the recent Anthony matter. Anthony, in short, basically stopped in a way that was extremely discourteous, suddenly, like refused to even give my mom a call when she asked him for a call, where she ostensibly was looking to kind of get a better traction on this moral matter, where that's in my interest and in my mom's interest and in Anthony's interest, really, in the big picture, because any bridged form of communication that has a better or improved form of communication, say maybe my mom has an issue with reading, writing, thinking, but when it's spoken out and it's a phone conversation, some people are like that. Then you give it to, because there's emotionality, you could talk things out, so, it all clicks. And my mom was instinctively looking for that click, I'm presuming. Called him and he refuses to. He tells me he refuses to. I'm like, brother, it might be a good idea. And I was very nice about it. Would you reconsider? He's just like, no. So I'm like, what do you mean no? Like, okay, if you want to. Then I just said, all right, if you don't want to, then just, would you let her know that you don't want to talk to her on the phone? And he was like, no, I won't even do that. All right, now you're being a little ridiculous. Why won't you do that? Why are you pushing me, John? Why are you pushing me? Uh-oh, so now the bitchy cattiness is coming out of a man who I'm dealing with. What the fuck? Anthony, you're supposed to be on my side. Why would you sacrifice the affinity that you've built with me and maintain? What? Right, people are their own self-sabotagers. Very sick stuff. So naturally, I shared this with my mom. Why? Because not only was I the offended party because he was a bad friend to me, but he was a bad friend to me because he also did something that negatively affected my mom. It was my mom's, who he didn't want to call. My mom asked him. It's not an unreasonable request. And it's also pursuant to the implications of what his role was. I had 18 hours of analysis, including my analysis, AI analysis, all vetted out, and human beings already corroborate and say, yes, John's right, John's right, John's right. You people need to wait. What's wrong with you humans is the thing I don't understand. So I'm informing my mom of this because when my mom realizes how deep of a thing it is, she can do, number one, realize that when I'm against anyone in the world, I'm right. People can't figure out, but I am. Then AI agrees with me. So the point is, number one, my mom can realize that I'm right about anything, which will probably make her go in the back of my mind, if he's right against everyone else, he must have a higher level of skill. Maybe he's right against me and I'm not seeing something. Now your mind's beginning to open, which is the good number one. But the other number two is that also naturally, since my mom's a party, she should be a natural witness also against Anthony, where she should come out and defend herself and reach out to Anthony and said, Anthony, I did ask. You're right. My son reminded me and showed me more videos. Anthony, I overlooked it, but actually, I really want to let you know now that you talk to my son and you don't call me back when I ask you to call me back. And it's important. And this is how much respect you show me. Anthony was coming to my house where my mom was there since he was 6 years old, where my mom was letting him in when he was a kid and we were playing in my room. Like, get real. Anthony is that comfortable to disrespect my mom? I'm having an issue with my mom. Doesn't mean it's cool to just diss my mom overly. It's still my mom, and it's my friend. You see the triangular problem there? It's still a problem. So Anthony's guilty, and I'm trying to also secure Anthony's tshuva, Anthony's return, Anthony's repentance by what? He hasn't had enough people come to him who's other than me to also say, yeah, Anthony, you really did fuck up there. That's the thing a person needs in order to make effective correction. So I'm hitting 15 birds with one stone in essence when I try to do something. One of those stones is Anthony gets to hear from another person that he did wrong. So I'm trying to get my mom to realize, listen, remember that thing where he didn't do something for you that was important to do? Doesn't that piss you off? Yeah, shouldn't you go tell him that it did? Hello, wake up, Earth. What's wrong with you? All right, so you get it. So that's why I brought this up. So go back to where I left off. I ask you again, do you agree with me or with Anthony? Does that matter? Why? Because we're ultimately being led to realize, oh, I do agree with my son, and then I should do what next? Back us up and fight for my dignity and my son's dignity jointly together. And at also a deeper psycho-emotional level, if you're in training a motherly woman to actually remember, all right, that's what a mom's supposed to do. I'm supposed to be in the role of defending myself and my son as a team. Then it helps bring the holistic thinking back into her mind from patterning that, really, and then she'll gain sight of the big picture, hopefully, ideally. Really, why am I so divided against my son? And then at the emotional level of circuitry, it's like, yeah, you get someone to do something small for you, then they're more willing to do something bigger for you, right? Go defend me and yourself against Anthony, and then realize, the universe through that's reminding you, I should be more mindful and protective of my family. And then a karmic window opens that could be potentially beneficial. See that? So you guys got to understand at the levels. All right, next. I continue on to write to her. So, if you agree with me, and I think obviously you should, Barbara, Mom, as his conduct was offensive, not only to the one in my position, but also even more to the one in your position. True. According to what I said and how I described it. Then, I ask her, did you reach out to him? Naturally. And did you let him know? Wake up. Alright. That covers the important part of this email. And then she writes back the following day. Hi. I believe Anthony should do more for you. Wow. This is the thing that dignifies the spirit. So this is the first thing I've seen from my mom that actually is like a full dignifying. It's like, her first moral action of a long time. Wow. Amazing. Man, it feels great. That's how life should be. God says all entities, all humans must dignify each other at all times, or I crush you. Matrix rules. Get it? In essence. I believe that Anthony should do more for you, since he, especially because she means, he was the only one at the time in my life, it's true in my life, who was helping you out. She further wrote to me, I'm like, reading this first sentence, I'm like, wow, miracle, this is amazing. He should try his best to accommodate your needs and not give up on you. Two beautiful sentences. I'm like, good. Where naturally I'm thinking, if she understands that, then she understands the natural inherent implications of it. Right, if you understand that, I'm glad to hear that, but don't just tell me that. The point is, good that I hear that you're telling me, now go tell him. The point is, you go tell him that, because he's the one he's the damager. Okay, you get it? I know that it's true that he should have been helping me out. He doesn't know it. See? So he's the one who needs to be informed of that fact. We continue. Not bad though, so we continue working with her, right? It goes on now to transition into, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Not bad. And then once again, the old line continues. Since you don't have much help, could you please accept my help? As a side note, This, strictly speaking, this isolated thing is again just about mind-blowingly offensive, but it is nested in something that does have also, for the first time ever, probably, a genuine hope of a position that's overall good. So I can't, unlike the other previous email, which had a similar line, but she didn't. It was just crap. So it got that vicious review. Well, it's the same BS again, but this is how the woman operates. She's not going to stop giving BS. She's just going to give you the BS couched in like pudding. Oh, but now I see it in hindsight. I didn't rebuke her here for that slim sentence, so that's how it eventually just got worse and more reckless. That's how these monsters are. You have to kill them at the first, nip them in the first bud. You understand that saying? So this is like couched, extra padded hits against your dignity. It's just, you're wonderful, you're great. Take that. Ah, isn't it great? Oh God, no. I now understand why the new Messianic age is prophetically said to be, there's no grace or kindness, it's pure justice, because it's the only mode that's going to work for the new earth. Like, one toe out of line, your toe gets fucking cut permanently. Like, everyone will learn then, and no. Now, 1,000 years, no one's toes ever get cut off because everyone's living perfectly. Ah, that's it. Anytime we give you grace, the new human mode, especially recent times, is we never not appreciate it anymore. All grace leads to crap, so now grace has to be cut. Yeah, it's like removing the training wheels off the bike. Yeah, that's to help you, to prevent falling while you're learning. Now you should have learned enough. Training wheels come off. Now you're going to get cold, hard pavement every time you fall. Ah, should have known balance by now, huh? Life is the cold, hard teacher. Beautiful. Good, resuming. She goes on to say, can we meet and talk about it? So it is strongly offensive that she raises it again, given that, as we covered before, it was clearly fully explained. Side note, if it wasn't clearly fully explained by now, leave me a comment in the comment section of this video right now. Pause this video right now. Tell me in the video comments right now that something is that my mom isn't crazy for saying this, because there's some kind of reason that that I didn't make it clear enough, basically, or that the moral principle isn't what I'm making it out to be. Okay, otherwise we're tacitly acquiescing that, oh yeah, it's just kind of obvious on the face that this is crazy by her. Okay, so let's continue. I will give you a letter explaining everything, and hopefully we could move forward. So she appears here to be asking for two separate things. Can we meet? And then also, as a non-related thing to the meeting, I can give you a letter explaining everything. Now, ostensibly, one thinks, well, either one of those two things can happen independently of each other, naturally. They shouldn't be linked. I raised this issue before. Why would the letter be linked? Remember, the letter paradigm had originated back in Labor Day weekend of the prior year, 2023, where the whole idea she had, this brilliant idea, was that I'm supposed to cancel the meeting because I'm going to put the letter instead of the meeting. Getting that right? Remember, everybody? So we don't meet, and the letters are because we're not meeting. So that's the brilliance of her mind, supposedly, that we saw didn't even turn out brilliant, nor did she do the things she promised to do. It's none of it, it's all nuts. So, but now, the premise of the letter, well, again, the letter, right, the letter's because she doesn't have direct access to me, because we're essentially, for the most part, functionally estranged, that we're not in full reconciliation yet, or an interaction in that sense. That everything's relegated to emails. You understand? We're not hanging out on Sundays. Like, you see the thing? We're talking about giving someone a letter. It's probably because you have some things you want to express, that you don't trust yourself that you'll express it right live when you're thinking. So she wants to write it down, and then write it down and give it. But we remember, what did she say? And I probably should do the shoot back. We remember, I don't give you permission to post this letter on the YouTube. Where I kind of responded like, whatever, lady. But the context of this was, I don't give you permission to put the letter on YouTube. What? The one I'm gonna hand to you, maybe put it under your door, that I'm gonna get you there in a day or two. It's always in a day or two, and then 6 weeks will pass, and then another 4 weeks after that, and then you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Every time you said you were going to do the thing and you didn't do it as another offense, you should be punching yourself in the head viciously to pay. What the fuck? Pay and atonement energy. Evil shit. So, with this context, I'm reaffirming, does anyone derive something different in the narrative at this point in time? So, no, John seems to be strongly leaning towards a sensible interpretation. Okay. Good. She continues, "You're staying in the apartment. I don't see any lights there." It's funny because when she said that, I had kept on the lights for a couple of days in that room. Whatever. Let me know. Okay, she's checking up on my lights. Yeah? Now, notably, I found what she wrote here to be kind of good about Anthony, but it seemed to be lacking something. So I really had to double check. Before I address the rest of what you wrote, Mom, the rest being, it's again offensive to reoffer help because people don't accept help from people who wronged them, who then subsequently never expressed remorse or regret about having wronged them. The robbers are coming in, and after they robbed you, they expect that they walk down the street and you'd better be nice to them and you'd better accept the gifts that the robber will leave you. We're not friends, fuck you, go kill yourself, see? So that template placed over, it's like, I'm not gonna accept anything that's beyond what's strictly necessary for me to survive. Why? Because dignity. Why? Because it's all but for the mom, the psychological, psycho-emotional framework becomes it's pure remediation at the surface level purely. So it becomes, as long as my son is acting in a way that makes me feel like I'm supposed to be the bad one, which a woman can't handle. I mean, I'm the bad one, I don't understand that, right? So the way she looks to cure it at the short, simple, but low and essentially bad level is reverso. It's like the wrong aspect of reverse engineering is just wrong. It's, I'm gonna, if he's not accepting gifts from me, that's him treating me like I'm doing something wrong or that I don't deserve to have my gift to him accepted. So the way it's going to be remedied is that I will go insist that he'll accept my gift. You see how dumb that is? If you're dumb, you don't have a working mind. But it's bad, but you try it that way because they have no other, because they're not actually integrated into the God force. And into having a conscience and actually being strong and remorseful. So all they know is, well, I want you to accept my gifts now already. Why? Because the cheap part of their mind only understands that if he accepts the gift, then that equals him acting the way he would as if we were all okay. So therefore, that makes everything okay. So therefore, I'm not bad anymore. See how their minds work? So yeah, she does want to exit the bad frame, the frame within which she's bad, but she won't do it by atonement and repentance and feeling remorseful about the actual wrong she did and confessing that they were wrong things that she did. She wants to do it by, here's something, accept it, so we magically glaze over the mud pie with the icing on the mud pie. So now it looks like it's edible food now, right? Everything's fine now. No. Interesting human dynamics. For sure, we would all agree. Returning to what I responded to her with. April 19th, I asked her, before I address the rest of what you wrote, did you watch all 4 parts of the Anthony Rebuke, which totals 18 hours of audio? Something about the way she wrote to me gave me a gut feeling like she likely did, but it's not even 100% with her. I really need to get this straight, because if she did, she should have either had more of a comprehensive reaction or otherwise just understand, like, okay, time to go run to him now angrily, because that's defending your son and your family's honor and our last name. What are you doing? If it's anything but that, okay? You're like a lost sheep. You gotta keep getting herded into the fucking pen where you belong, because you're dumb and you're blind. You need a shepherd. A proper healthy man always has a shepherd instinct over everyone around him when he sees as blind with a superior vision. This is godliness. See, so highest aspects of who's the shepherd, it's messianic, Moshiach type thinking, where the biggest messianic figure identified to date till now by the holdings of entire religious establishments, Jesus is identified as what? A shepherd. So no wonder a messianic role and a shepherd role are one and the same, because it's closer to God. You're closer to God on the spectrum of anywhere you could possibly land on ever, when you're what? Responsibly shepherding lost people. That's it. What's a snake going to do? The devil imitates God. The devil imitates godliness. So the devil, the one who's actually wrong, will imitate by trying to shepherd you. Frame reversal addiction. Okay, we understand that part. So the question is asked here. That's the entirety of my email. Let's see what happens. The response comes through April 20th. Yes, I did. Oh my God. Okay, I have the answer then. If I have that, now I know I can proceed knowing she really did. Then I'm going to continue next juncture to address everything that should be addressed for the next following juncture until everything clicks into place. This is how I have to build the world. To you people, nothing looks like it fits. With foresight, I know everything fits before I even begin. And to you, all you see is a whole bunch of things, and none of them are fitting. But by the way I work, which is the correct long way round, full circle way round of the God-mind kind of system, God builds the world like this. You don't realize that everything falls into place at the end. You don't have the foresight to understand that at the beginning. Wake up. I proceed to respond to her like this. Let's keep track whether or not this response makes sense, addresses the appropriate things, etc., etc., and as we keep the broader context in mind of what exactly is important here. Okay. I write to her. 3 things I have to say on 3 respective subject matters. Before I turn to address the other 2, the Anthony issue and the issue regarding what you're raising now, being those 2, there's also the issue of the woman who has operated as a witness. I say the truth as it is. I hope she's watching, but this was the place and time and way that was brought to feeling in terms of the ease with which she was able to be accessible at that time. But to her credit, she's come around in a nice way, and it's very good, and it's most beneficial and constructive for everyone involved, which is a beautiful thing. I said to her, there's also the issue of the woman who's operated as a witness. She's been strangely more and more difficult to reach, and she texts and remains in touch one day, but then she's both hard to reach and outright unresponsive for several days or more in a row. This has gone on for multiple rounds of such conduct. Despite this, now, presumably she still wants just about everything and has been showing interest in proceeding when she did last contact me, which is right. Now, continuing. At this time, the right and sensible and prudent thing for us to do is to have you reach out to her directly. Why? She's finished the videos? Good. I don't want to waste a damn second. The minute she finished watching all the videos, run to the source of light and wisdom, wherever it is. If it's with this woman, because she for the most part, mirrors my understanding, and she's actually, as of this time frame, we're in May 8th, she's still in touch with me actively. We're trying to work out what full understanding we wish to share, that she understands, accepts, and she's willing to represent. We're kind of still, interestingly, on the drawing board, and we've sort of cycled back onto the drawing board, but we're working through it. But mom needs to run to get help. Mom needs to run to the fountain, wherever the fountain of wisdom and knowledge is. She doesn't accept it from me. Jesus, in his teachings, with the correct teaching, says, it's my responsibility to get the witness, so that the one who's lost is getting it from a witness now too. So she gets it double way, okay? Now, continuing. So I write to her, as I was writing, for that reason I wrote, at that time it's right and sensible and prudent that you reach out to her directly. 2, as it continues to state here, follow up with her to introduce yourself, over text or something like this, and to let her know that you're interested both in communicating to her and telling her whatever you think is important for her to be told by you, and for her to tell you, as well as to hear anything she has to say. Okay, good. Nothing wrong there, I'm sure. Most people do that in my position or something similar. Okay. Pursuant to this first matter, then, can you ensure to reach her and confirm when you've contacted her? Please let me know. Moving on ahead now. Moving now to the second matter. Before we address it, I'll just say that I will address the third final matter, that is, the matter you've written to me about, come on, can we please meet? Can you please meet? You already told the answer was no, but you can't seem to accept it, and I've addressed it before. And now also there's all these side issues. Well, let me at least handle these side issues first before we turn back to the main issue of why are you this moronic still? They never get it. Continuing to withhold a showing of remorse and regret that we can assess as being truly authentic and genuine, and yet demanding that we do something for her, that we meet her because she wants to. We have to earn it, and anyone and everyone, proper, reasonable, and moral, and plus including God himself, agrees with me 1,000 million bajillion infinite %. You have no hope. So stop being against God. What are you doing? Stop being against the code of the universe. What are you doing? Silly people. We continue. So, I conclude that sentence by saying we'll do all that once we've finalized addressing this thing that involves Anthony. Okay? One thing at a time for people who have a hard time with things. Yeah? Continue. I go on to write to her. You've watched 18 hours of this issue involving him. Okay? We see, because I have to give her the recap, right? To reset her context chronically, constantly. I say to her, we see that he didn't want to bother returning your call or dealing with you. Like telling her the story back to her, or, by extension, properly dealing with me, as we recall from my brief summary here, too. Continuing, I say to her, you brought up simplistically that Anthony should have been there for me in a better, more involved way. Yeah, we just now within that email that she wrote to me, yeah? I tell her, you also brought that up with, as it goes on to say, the implication that it is for the reason or issue of my health that he should have been more mindful and considerate. Maybe? Well, I say that, yeah, I do agree that generally speaking, he simply should have been a better friend. However, as I go on to describe to her, the issue of his overlooking of someone in my position, in this whole the whole circumstance involving the conflict between me and her, and him being inconsiderate, as it goes on to say, to a friend in my position who needs health-based or health-founded support, compassion, and consideration. These are things that are both important, and it is also, despite that fact that it's important, is not the most important thing to a man of dignity. Why? What do men care about? We heard it already from Emerson, Eggerichs, and others. Respect. The primary issue, and we're telling this to a woman who can sometimes forget this, it's not in their nature to respect men, remember? Scarily and terrifyingly. The primary issue is chiefly that he acted, but this is a man we're complaining about, so Anthony should have understood this. So when I say he was acting like a woman, I say, really, something's wrong here. Yeah? It's chiefly that he acted in such a way as to bring indignation to the one in my position by disrespect. By disrespect. That's why what Anthony did was wrong. He disrespected my mom, he disrespected me, and then he further acted as if there's no problem at all. When I told him about what the hell you're doing is wrong. He said, no, what are you talking about? You're wrong. Crazy. The shit, the sick, dumb, blind shit never ends. I continued on. Additionally, this is all setting context for my mom. Why? Because when she reads this, she's supposed to get what? Emotionally angry. If she's a normal, healthy person, she's supposed to get so riled up that she can't help but run. She can't help but run to fucking get him. You get it? Let's really get it straight. Watch this. I'm going to quote from a book that was written 100 years ago, one of the top books of all time, that's most highly regarded, written by Napoleon Hill, called The Laws of Success in 16 Lessons. Because something from there just comes to mind. I read that book like 10, 12 years ago, and I just remembered something. I want to share something. Let's go see. Here's an excerpt from this book from the 913th page. The author was writing this just a few years, basically, after World War I, which back then was the only world war. They didn't call it World War I. It was called the Great War. Just came to an end. So, he was writing, the World War brought out many startling tendencies of the human mind, which corroborate the work which the psychologist has carried on in his research into the workings of the mind. The following account, now that the author there, Napoleon Hill, writes for us about, that is, of a rough, uncouth, unschooled, undisciplined young mountaineer. This story is an excellent case in point. Let's consider what it says as we proceed. Fought for his religion, now great war hero. By George W. Dixon. How Arvin Cullum York, an unlettered Tennessee squirrel hunter, became the foremost hero of the American Expeditionary Forces in France forms a romantic chapter in the history of the World War. York is a native of Fentress County. He was born and reared among the hardy mountaineers of the Tennessee woods. There is not even a railroad in Fentress County. During his earlier years, he was reputed to be a desperate character. He was what was known as a gunman. He was a dead shot with a revolver, and his prowess with the rifle was known far and wide among the plain people of the Tennessee hills. One day, a religious organization pitched its tent in the community in which York and his parents lived. It was a strange sect that came to the mountains looking for converts, but the methods of the evangels of the new cult were full of fire and emotionalism. They denounced the sinner, the vile character, and they denounced the man who took advantage of his neighbor. They pointed to the religion of the Master as an example that all should follow. Proceeding, Alvin gets religion. Alvin Cullum York startled his neighbors one night by flinging himself down at the mourner's bench. And it's an interesting sort of way. He interjects these quotes, this author, in random pages. And this one kind of might be an interesting one. Here are 12 good reasons for failure. The first one is the avowed intention of doing no more than one is paid to do in life. Sometimes I encounter these types. It's God's test through me, and if they act like that, it's just, okay, all you're going to get is failure. You don't understand that part, but it's true. So, the avowed intention of doing no more than one is paid to do is your failure. And number two, he goes on to say, and the person who makes this avowal in their heart, you'll see the other 11 causes of failure by stepping before a mirror. It's all you after that. This guy was brilliant. Anyway, continuing. So he writes that other quoted author continues to state this in the story. He says, old men now stirred in their seats and women craned their necks as York wrestled with his sins in the shadows of the Tennessee mountains. York became an ardent apostle of the new religion. He became an exhorter, a leader in the religious life of the community, and although his marksmanship was as deadly as ever, no one feared him who walked in the path of righteousness. That's how it is. Whenever you're on that path, you don't have fear of anything or anyone or any circumstance ever anymore, ever. It's a magic anti-anxiety pill. It's more tremendous than any earthly thing you can imagine. Now consider this. It continues. When the news of the war now reached that remote section of Tennessee, and the mountaineers were told that they were going to be conscripted, York grew sullen and disagreeable. See? He had a new doctrine in his mind, his religious doctrine. You got it? But check out how the story unfolds. It goes on to say that he didn't believe in killing human beings, even in war. Of course, as a side note, I would add that mistaken belief is a mistranslation of the Ten Commandments. It doesn't say thou shalt not kill. It says thou shalt not murder. Killing's okay if you do it for the cause and it's not murder. War is not murder. It's killing because they're trying to kill you. And we gotta go. Continuing. Exactly, and that offers all the context you need to know. But anyway, York didn't have that context, so here he goes again. York grew sullen and disagreeable. He didn't believe in killing human beings even in war. Goes on to say, his Bible taught him, thou shalt not kill. To his mind, this was literal and final. He was branded as a conscientious objector. The draft officers anticipated trouble. They knew that his mind was made up, and they would have to reach him in some manner other than by threats of punishment. So, this parallels the situation with my mom. My mom has a contextually poor idea, and all I'm going to her saying, rebuke, rebuke, rebuke all day long, and she's still not understanding anything. So, we continue. How does the story here continue? Now, next section, War in a Holy Cause. They went to York with a Bible. They showed him that the war was in a holy cause, the cause of liberty and human freedom. They also pointed out that men like himself were called upon by the higher powers to make the world free. He's also called upon to protect innocent women and children from violation. He was called upon to make life worth living for the poor and oppressed, to overcome the beast pictured in the scriptures. Yeah, that German Kaiser, whoever back then, yeah, that was the beast surely, right? He was called upon to, furthermore, make the world free for the development of Christian ideals and Christian manhood and womanhood. You see, it was a fight between the host of righteousness and the hordes of Satan. The devil was trying to conquer the world through his chosen agents, the Kaiser and his generals. Come on, U.S. is trying to rally up its troops, right? York's eyes now blazed with a fierce light. His big hands closed like a vice. His strong jaws snapped. The Kaiser, he hissed between his teeth. The beast, the destroyer of women and children. I'll show him where he belongs if I ever get within gunshot of him. He caressed his rifle, kissed his mother goodbye, and told her he would see her again when the Kaiser had been put out of business. He figured he would be the one to do it himself, amazingly. He went to the training camp, he drilled it with scrupulous care and strict obedience to orders, and you see the rest of the story. That's it. Get it? Anthony. He did wrong against us. We go and see. He did this. He did that. You're called upon to defend our honor, to back what's right. And if you have the moral of that story there from the book is that if you have a soul, you being reminded of the alignment under which you properly live should light that fire under your ass naturally, that we couldn't pay you enough to stop you from getting to the Kaiser. Or in this case, for my mother to get to Anthony. What? You dishonor us? Care, move, be alive. Wake up. Like that Tennessee squirrel hunter there. What's wrong with you people? Oh, this is the new age, right? Uh-oh. So, under this understanding, we're continuing. I'm describing to her furthermore. And when I resume this email, I say to her, additionally, Anthony, that is he, acted as if his disrespect, well, that wasn't disrespect at all, but that what he was doing was somehow fine, and how he was being was somehow totally fine. This is gaslighting. Do you defend gaslighting? But she's guilty of it herself, you see. So something subconscious must be going on in her mind. Aha, the revelation. I'm going to give you a sneak spoiler alert now. When you're wrong, your instinct is never to fight wrong. First you have to be saved, then you're in alignment with proper acting. If you're not saved, you'll be a scammer, and then when I go to you to say, hey, the guy down the street's scamming, what the hell's wrong with him? Let's go get him and talk to him how bad he is. Such types go, oh, I don't know. They get very sheepish because it's all programming versus anti-programming. So that's how you quickly identify really who's got God programming versus who's pretend God programming / they're actually authentically more closer to the devil because they have opposite programming. Very obvious. So keep this pretty decent hypothesis, right? Guys, yeah. So keep that in mind when we assess what my mother's action and response will be. Keep this in mind. When her stuff starts coming up soon, remember, this is how she's acting. Oh, now it makes sense. It gets wild. Just saying as a spoiler, prediction. I know what happens. I'm recording about it now in the future to review it. So that for the sake that the truth is known, at the very least, God help us. I proceed to write to my mom here. See, You and I, we can proceed to identify at least several things that he's guilty of. However, none of these identifications that we can make about his guilt that are made by us, these identifications don't actually matter unless or until we take them into account. What did I just say? I used capital letters, so I think I was clear enough. It doesn't matter if he's guilty, it only matters when we hold him to account about his guilt, that is, rebuke. You yourself became a natural witness to the matter by watching and beholding everything through the 4 videos of 18 hours that she just said she watched. See that? So it continues, therefore, I think that if you see that he has done wrong, you should reach out to him urgently. Get him. Get the Kaiser. He needs rebuke from everyone who's either a witness or from whom this issue concerns directly either way, which here is my mom. Okay, and anyone watching will kind of agree. It's like, yeah, technically John's not wrong. Yeah, it makes sense that she does. Makes it naturally one would be, a healthy mother really would be pissed. A neurotypical, empathic woman who's got a good heart, yeah, she'd be very upset right now. She'd be running to that guy and like, what the hell, what the hell? Yeah, good. But what does Barbara do? You see? I say clearly, here is what I feel. So I'm making it very clear for her because I know from much past conduct, something's wrong with her. She's off in so many ways. So I have to very clearly, here's what you should do. This is this, that. Make it super, super clear. But remember, guys, the irony is, the more clear I make something, the more confused they become. Remember that. You're going to see that pattern repeat a lot everywhere you turn. Like, it can't be any more clear because of how I went to resolution, not 4K, 8K, but like million K. And then it's like they can't see the forest through the trees anymore because there's some kind of context tracking problem in their minds. I don't know what it is. The truth's obvious, but we're going to do it again. I say to her clearly, here is what I feel one in your position should be doing in a circumstance like this. Of course, stuff that makes sense. Let's see. I said, you should, as soon as possible, call him repeatedly, directly. Call him once, call him twice, so that he fucking gets a feeling, oh shit, she's coming out of the blue and trying to get to me and call me multiple times. What's going on? One in Anthony's position would think, haven't talked to John in months. Haven't talked to his mom in months. Because I magically made myself disappear. Because, in reality, it's because he fucked up. But in his mind, it's because John was wrong with me. No, my witness affirmed that that's not true. Unbelievable. People are never going to win. Continuing. God will never lose. And he needs us. Most Christians think that they need God. Every good Jew knows that God needs us. You really fucking get it? We are God's hands and legs. Make God alive on here. But Christ knew this. He said, make God's kingdom come down on earth. But we're the ones who are the makers of that. Us humans. All of us. Let's move. Carry it out correctly. You'd call him once, Mom. You'd call him twice. Then you'd text him in follow-up, stating essentially, and keep in mind the strictness of these instructions. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm trying to reach you, Anthony, about something important. And just leave it at that. Bingo, of course. Why? Anthony suddenly gets a bunch of calls from my mom out of the blue, followed by a text like that. Anthony doesn't know if she wants to talk to him about some A, B, or C, or whether my mom wants to talk to Anthony because of A, B, or C, or because, fucking I might have dropped dead and she's trying to contact Anthony to tell him where the funeral is. You see what I'm saying? Where Anthony, I would have to sit going, oh my God, was the last thing I ever treated John was just completely disregard him and now he's dead? Like, anything can be going through the mind. You get what I'm saying? So, do it like this then. I instruct her and say, he will either pick up or call you back then, or he will just insist that he continue to ignore you even after several days where you try this. Okay. So then I instruct her further. In either case, whether you get to interact with them over the phone because you're successful there, or over text message, or even email, I give her all the framework so that you can't possibly fuck it up. And my instructions are clear. First you say that, then you do that. It's very clear. Don't believe yourselves. But you have the answer for, oh my God, magic. The main substantive points, as I tell, should be as follows. Hey, viewers, if you disagree with any of these, I'd love to hear it. But hey, if you agree, also, I'd love the support. Come on, let me know. Who would disagree with the following 7 or 8 points or so? Number 1, as coming from my mom. In essence, Anthony, I just had the opportunity to watch my son's videos about what happened between him and you. 4 videos, 18 hours. And truly, it's true. I had no idea you are treating him very disrespectfully like that. There's a lot of crazy disrespectful shit. And none of it's justifiable. So all of it is bad. Get it? My mom comes out emergent. Imagine what a beautiful world this is when the person you disrespected, other people from around him emerge, and like that bird with the many tailed feathers, or just spreads, peacock who just spreads all this is around me. Look, all of us, all of it, and just get an epileptic seizure because you can't handle it anymore. Good, life won. You got frazzled out. Kill the evil. Get it? Okay, continue. Can you explain why you are doing this to my son? To any such person in my own son's shoes? Right? Good point. Number 1. Now, next, number 2. Also, what you've done is offensive against me, not just to my son. See? Get it? I asked you to call me months ago because I'm trying to secure a resolution with my son on this matter, you idiot. Because you could not help facilitate communication with me back then when I asked you to. And truly, this is an honest analysis of the situation. Look how much it cost. I had to turn to Craigslist and hire new people and offer hundreds of dollars. My God. But still worth it, of course, it would be. And once we're finished, it would get paid, of course, properly. But because of all this broke everything. For many months, everything has been delayed between myself and my son. True statement, true story. And for a big reason of this, it's because of you, Anthony. Do you understand this? Again, can you explain yourself? Of this selfishness. Number 3. But that would be bad or offensive enough, even if my son were normally healthy, but he's going through such severe issues, and you still have no compassion to help stay close with him. That is even worse. Even worse. It needs to start sinking in. Layer by layer. Marinate evil people. Marinate them. Number 4. Furthermore, I looked carefully at the matter, and I don't see that my son did anything wrong in the situation between you and him. Do you, Anthony, to me say that you're going to disagree with that, to argue with me about that? Not to? See? If so, explain how. But if you can't disagree, then how you justify how you've been acting towards him, towards me? Exactly. Put him on the spot. Fry him. Fry every evildoer. And then fry yourselves if you're still evil after that. God wins. Good people win. It's all about doing what's correct and paying if you are fucking up. 5. What makes it even worse is that you knew and you know that he has virtually no other people around him to help at the time. He's relying on you, and you turn your back on him because you don't want to make a simple phone call to me when I ask you. You come to my house when you're 6 years old. This is the kind of level of respect that you have for me and ask you to do me a simple favor for basic courtesy. Shit, alright, this again, real. Ooh, good, yeah, good. Number 6. I also learned specifically, he asked you over the course of months to facilitate closely with him, securing of someone to help him better? Besides you, just a friend, to really get someone even more closely involved with his life? To help make some applications with him for help with disability successfully? He has all these neurological problems, this and that. Where were you? You, his friend, so it's supposed to be his closest friend, you're comfortable just keeping your distance from him when you're supposed to be his friend? You see his apparent brain or cognitive damage. You feel no urgency to draw closer to him to help this? Even when you see that is exactly because of your lack of your own involvement that causes his instability and his suffering to be prolonged? Because I'm too stupid to be involved with my son's life by merit. At least you and him had no problem initially, and then you're gonna burn the bridges too? See, when you program the mother to learn what it is to defend honor and good things, then these people become more hyper aware of their own shortcomings. Everything has a cross link to what's good and godly when you work with me. Any tiny molecule of yours is demonic, it forces all the rest of you to be demonic too. It's very interesting. So it's a super purification program. Honestly. Continuing. Point 7. Add any other points that you think are relevant in addition to the above. And then point 8. You conclude. Say, therefore, for all the above reasons, you really owe serious apology, man, to both me and also to my son. You should be ashamed of yourself. I am not kidding. Right? Show it. Show it. Not bad. Did I say anything wrong? No, that's how the world's supposed to work. This kind of gets us remembering what it was like in the old days, in the genetic ancestral memory of like, alright, like this is how life worked. Come on, it's in the basis, man.
Going to being a messianic point. There's going to be a messianic figure that's going to give us the sweet smell and the perfume that's going to wake us up from our exile. That's going to give us hope in the dark exile that's upon us, that we're still in right now. But we're going to already start smelling that there's hope. Plotting in their Ponzi schemes and whatever they're doing, it's all going to be revealed. The hoax, the whole thing is going to be up. Literally, that's going to be not so pleasant for many people who have. It's hard to imagine just how deep the corruption goes in many places. Mashiach will uncover it all with ultimate justice, and he's going to bring everybody to court. It's amazing. That's why when you see people who are corrupt being tried and taken to court, why do we feel like good? Because the answer is when justice is served and wickedness is taken to trial and is exposed for what it is, it rings truth inside of us that's good, that justice.
Naturally, of course. It's part of human fundamental sense. You only lose it when you become corrupt yourself. And you can't even, you're not motivated internally to hunt after other people's corruption because you yourself are corrupt. Keep that in mind. Continuing. Therefore, as I was resuming to write to the mother here, pursuant to the second matter now, can you please, and bold, so make it easy for people to track if they're having problems. Bold, track, easy, good. Can you please reach Anthony and convey these points essentially to him within your own way, preferably within a live conversation. Continuing. Feel free to play back those 4 videos, even that you already watched. Play it back even at double speed, just once more, in order to refamiliarize yourself again. Not necessary, but hey, it could be helpful. Remind yourself of the issues. Maybe she needs a reminder, who knows? Then, once you're ready either way, because there's also so many particulars embedded in there, and things also are clearer within a second watch through. After you have the context from the first watch through, then second watch through reinforces even a lot more. And things will stand out, it's like, that, and you take your notes. She could take her notes, hypothetically, right? Why not? Once you're ready either way, I wrote to her saying, look, just reach him and please secure that conversation. Again, to encourage her, I wrote, try calling a few times per day, a few days in a row. If he calls back or picks up, just talk to him. Let him know. Tell him you're unhappy with what the hell he's been doing to her and to me. Makes sense, huh? But if he never calls back, maybe after a week, then write to him all that stuff so that he still just gets the message, even though he's trying to be a dodgy non-participator. So he gets it either way. That's it. We have a total God-back entitlement to get our message through to someone when they wrong you. If we choose to invoke it, which we should, responsibly. Continue, I wrote to her, and if he still does reply after that, send it to him again by email. Then he make sure he double got it, and just to close the matter, spiritually it's condemned, and then we win. There's karmic threads that get pulled whenever you do work like this, so it's very important. Keep that in mind. So in summary, I wrote to her, number 1, please contact Valen at her number, let her know who you are, etc. Ready to proceed, of course. She pretty much watched everything. She double confirmed for me more recently that she has in fact watched everything. It's very good. Number 2, contact Anthony, rebuke him. Any questions at all? Alright, so we're getting a very good sense. So now, yeah, John's written a whole bunch of stuff that's really looking that it's taking this all in the right direction. Have sense, stability. We learn what respect is. We learn like the way and dignity of man and God. Makes sense. Good. And then, what do we see? A response from her, April 21st. I understand. And then, once again, the same problem is pushed. So, it's a bigger disrespect. So this is another offense, this is another sin. What? I said clearly in my email, before we proceed to address this matter, we want to address fully the Anthony matter. So, if you're a woman who's in this position, it's like, okay, yes, I understand. Do you understand or do you understand? And you also want to meet this week, which is what? To even raise the question is another violation of the first. In context, no, because it was told to you many times before that this is not sensible. Number 2, I also just said more recently than that, also before we even addressed that, because it came up again, this other thing. Oh no, that card's on top? No, never mind. Let me re-put the other card on top again. They don't know how to play card games. They don't know how to live life. They don't know the rules. And another offense embedded here. So, there's another karmic tick box. God says, there's number offense 3,987. Boop, there it is. Never ends. Continue. She goes on to say, I will give you the letter, and hopefully we could move on, or if not, I could leave the letter under your door in a day or two, and we'll take it from there. Ah, okay. Hey, remember earlier when we said that, obviously the context of the giving of the letter is independent, as technically it should be, properly and sensibly, independent from the actual meeting? Yeah, remember? And we all agreed? Yeah. This just further affirms that she herself understands and acknowledges, look, I could give you the letter, and we can move on supposedly within a meeting, or if there's no meeting, then I could still give you the letter and leave it under the door in a day or two, and we'll take it from there. I could literally take that, copy, paste it, keep that quote in mind. Quote, April 21st, Barbara said, if not meeting, I could still leave a letter under your door. So the letter isn't dependent on a meeting. Oh, that would be ridiculous. We understand why. We discussed this already. Okay. She continues on. She goes on to say, since you need a lot of help, you shouldn't waste more time. Now, we've discussed this slant before. What's doubly more stunning, so this already should result in the spiritual Gestapo coming into her apartment, like 10 angelic beings at once, seize her from her sleep and throw her out the window. Karmically is what you get. Just from trying to spin this slant again. Since you need a lot of help, you shouldn't waste more time. Yeah. Do we think we like that? Yeah. All you gotta see. All you gotta know. There it is right there again. The frame, the slant game, the reel it in her mind that she thinks she's doing. God shits on it. Hurt yourself. Same day, I write back to her. Please do those things mentioned in the email as soon as possible, and do not delay. How much clearer can you get this? She's writing and she's starting on other things before she finishes the first thing. Don't do that. You're not even good at that. We figured out already by now. I want to state to her here, do those things, do them, it says right now. Reach both Anthony and this nice, kind woman. Continuing. As for meeting with you, so I'm actually out of frustration. I am addressing the meeting issue. Again, I shouldn't. She should have just been karmically disposed of by the angels, but somehow she's still here. Okay. I have to, again, address like she's retarded, like I have to address this again. Keep in mind, is my addressing of this now sufficient, or is she going to come back again to basically petition for what is, in essence, unmerited, her belief of entitlement to a meeting that actually morally is unmerited, but she's going to keep angling for it again, which is the disrespect. That is the disrespect. Saying, no, I don't have to apologize. I'm just going to angle for a meeting anyway. I don't have to show I'm sorry first. See? I'll just get a meeting because I say so. No. You fucked up and we were still willing to meet you, no questions asked, on the premise that you're going to use these meetings and not dishonor us within the context of availing for meeting. When she broke that, then we step a layer back. Okay, now you can't meet with us because you fucked up. You need to sit in punishment and go, God, I am stupid. God, I am stupid. Fuck yeah. Now God is being happy. Make God happy, you stupid evil women. Well, you don't know how to? Uh-oh. And the whole world, we all have to suffer for each other's sins, and you're just all screwed. And everything's screwed. Help us. Continuing. So, in this context is how I'm going about to, again, explain this to her. Let's pay attention closely and see what happens. Because this is absolutely, it's like, sorry, audience, it's like, yeah, you kind of have to be put through, like, why is she doing this again and again? So much time. This is going on so long. What's wrong with her? She going to do it again? My God, she is broke. She is Alzheimer's. Something has to be wrong with her, because this is crazy. Because she doesn't care that she offends people is the problem. That's the insult. Just ask him again. No, shoot yourself with a fucking huge shotgun. Don't ask him again. Show that you learned that asking him makes God kill me. God hates it when I ask him again because it is me. It in essence is constituting me trying to steamroll over what he wants, and therefore that's sin. That's sin. Get it. So I proceed. I write to her, ask for a meeting with you. Explanation comes again. How can anyone in your general kind of position merit to be given the benefit of an in-person meeting after all the disrespect and multiple meeting cancellations, where you show up at this very point in time without appearing to regret whatsoever, your previous decisions to cancel those meetings with Anthony and I? Again and again. Why did I ask this? It's not a rhetorical question. But this is a Socratic method style of question. I'm employing the Socratic method. Why? Because if she's logical and has a brain, the purpose is that she reads a sentence, then at the end of this question, there's a question. At the end of this question, she goes, right, how can anyone in my general kind of position merit to be given that benefit after all of that? So that she naturally in her head realizes correctly, if she's capable of correcting, a reasonable person would go, technically I don't merit this. He's right. So therefore, now that self-insight created insight, like, I don't merit it, then she goes, you're right, I'm sorry. It's not right for me because of what I did. And then that leads to the next step. I should be sorry for what I did. And then the next step goes, I should be showing it as a preemptive thing in order to gain access to any possibility. But he said that already multiple times, so of course it's already enforced. So, am I actually sorry? Then she has to go to the mirror and physically go, am I actually sorry? That process needs, and then of course she should be, and who helps her realize that she should be sorry? Witnesses. Because a mother's program is, any victimizer is inherently largely inoculated, sadly, against the rebuke of the very person they're victimized. Why? Because they're the one who carried out the bullshit on you in the first place. Why would they feel sorry when most of the time they won't? The vast majority of the time they won't. But a witness, it has a different psychological phenomenon. People realize that they're wrong more so once multiple people are involved from multiple angles. Because then it's like, I really do believe now I'm wrong. Yeah, that's why it's so valuable. Come on, man. Why are you people so dumb? Help us, God. Wake up. Wake up. I will wake you all up. I promise. So this is how the question is supposed to work. And then she's supposed to realize, hopefully with witnesses or otherwise, through everything I wrote, you can refer to the principle to realize whether or not you did wrong. Well, is it right for someone who is being given the opportunity and grace to then turn on the grace? Where later I end up wanting the same thing that I didn't appreciate and I overturned before? Oh my God, I am guilty of that. So you should naturally feel shame and remorse. So that's what makes you go first. You go to John Winslow there and you say, you're right. I'm sorry I fucked up on that. I regret canceling the meetings on both May of that year with Anthony. And again, I did the same thing somehow. Again, even though you guys gave me an additional chance, I only used that chance and I shat on it because it was pearls before swine and I'm the swine and I'm fucking stupid. So, and then I just dishonored you guys again. I had some ideas about giving you a letter instead of a meeting, but even now I realize that's stupid because now I'm trying to give you a letter during a meeting, so it's like me tacitly admitting and conceding that it was fucking stupid what I did. But I should be doing that explicitly because I really realized that it was disrespectful to do that to you, and that's why it was wrong. And I'm fucking embarrassed that I ever did that. I'm really sorry, and I want you to know I'd never do it again. Wow. You see how that opens up every possibility in the universe? If she says something like that and it's even halfway believable, and a witness who overlooks it, whoever it is in the universe, in any situation, would look and assert and can corroborate that, yeah, alright, I affirm that she does seem like she's at least halfway meaning it genuinely. And two people affirm and agree, say, okay, that's what buys her ticket to get to sit down with me in a next person meeting, because she's making atonement. The atonement takes place in the form of the apology and the weight and the emotional transformation. Your emotional transformation is the thing that is required for this in life, all you wrongdoers of life and you barbers of life, in order for the path to be open to you by God. It's God who opens the path to you, not John. It's God working through all people. Understand that everything you're doing is an interaction with God in essence. Wake up. I continue to explain to her, if you value having a meeting now, at this time, then the real lesson here is that maybe you shouldn't have rushed to cancel those previous ones so quickly, huh? Because that is the disrespectful thing, disrespectful to the dignity of your son's mind and son's brain. That, as I clarify super clearly, that disrespect is the ultimate sin. You didn't want to meet with your own son before on the serious issue that this has been. You haven't been willing to have a normal interaction for the last year and a half. Mind you, side note real quick, come on, man, if you have halfway normal brain, you're in the mom's position getting this by now, it's like, it's cooking you. You should be cooked now. It's like, fuck. Any mom would be like, fuck, I realized I fucked up. She'd be bad. She'd be crying by now. She'd be like, you're right. I don't know what I was doing. I'm sorry. The only words will be running over. I'm sorry. Over and over. I'm sorry. You have to be sorry, stupid idiots. And continue. You haven't been willing to have a normal interaction with your own son for the last year and a half? We asked you to leave. You didn't leave. Now you just can't leave. Such and such as above I wrote. So I go on to say, now you can have it so easy to just meet whenever you want. That's God, perfect God justice. Yeah, as I wrote there too, yeah, that's how proper justice works. You need, properly speaking, it's my responsibility as a man to administer what? Justice, not unlimited grace forever. Jesus said against that. He said, be careful. It's a sin to give pearls to swine. You'd better not do it if you're responsible, men. Learn discernment, men. And women, not. Women actually are encouraging a yin nature to be different, to always give, even when they're taking from you, and give a little more. It truly does open up everything in the universe. I'm telling you, you don't understand the power of what you have. The yin nourishing nature is extra grace. Grace is a yin quality, not a yang quality. Remember, justice is the yang quality. I'm doing my job on my end of things. You do yours. And we all co-balance and integrate, and it's perfect in life. People reverse, flip, switch, forget, blah, 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 conflate. You're all confused. World burns. That's it. World burns. Everyone suffers together. And apart, really. Continuing. So I say to her correctly, you need to learn your lesson to the point that you actually truly regret. This is all so obvious. It's so clear. It's like, yeah, John, technically saying everything that's true and correct. No one in Barbara's position, most of us would feel at least, could possibly be any confused or not be getting it now. John's saying, you need to learn your lesson to the point you truly regret making the poor decisions that you made, such that you strongly wish that you never made them. Yeah, until then, there's a clear indicator and directive. Until then, you have to pay the price. What's the price? You're going to continue to be cut off at the level you are until you merit to be let in. Because you betrayed my trust multiple times in many ways. You cannot just magically reappear at the core. You have to earn your way back level by level. No free bullshit. Only sickos want that. We continue. Moreover, I remind her, this is the first time you offered the same fundamentally unacceptable thing in the absence of a genuine repentance, which is this gift thing. Oh, let me just come in and help you, and I don't care how I treat you, but you better love the fact that I'm helping you, and I get to do so whenever I want. I tell her, you've watched all the videos, so by now the rules of life and rules under God should not be novel or new to you. If you keep re-offering offensive and inconsiderate offers again, I may consider blocking you. Keep this in mind, audience. Keep this in mind, audience. If you keep re-offering offensive, inconsiderate offers again, which I just said, you offering, let me help you, let me come, let's meet, do this, do that. So repeating things that were already indicated to you as not making sense in context, and then you try again, I'm going to consider blocking you. Because you have to understand the penalty. So mind you, any normal person in this position, if they warned you that you're doing something, you're going to do it again, they at least might block you. You won't do it again. Keep that in mind and track whether she does it again. Keep it in mind. Okay. The mind blow never ends. There's another offense if she does it. There's another offense. It never ends. Stop it. Kill these people spiritually, figuratively. Hate it. Fuck. Stop it. Stop abusing me. Stop abusing me. Stop abusing me. Stop abusing me. You really need to get it. Stop abusing me. You messed up and no one else. So yeah, I say that the letter is the proper avenue to go. Wow, what did I just say? I said no meeting, and I'm saying your son is saying to you, my God, yeah, I do encourage that you put this letter and prepare it. Wow, I'm even helping her to coordinate her mind. So track this. Before she said, I want to leave you a letter at your house. Then when I say, yeah, I think you should leave a letter at my house, how much you want a psychic bet magically that she then says, oh, I don't want to leave a letter for you at your house? No, most of you could be thinking, no, John, that'd be crazy. She wouldn't do that. That's crazy. Yeah, keep tracking and watch how sane this woman is. Want to bet I'm right? Now I started figuring I'm going to make it extra easy for her. I'm going to put an in summary section at the end so that you can't possibly miss the point. Because I don't know how decrepit her brain has become. In summary, 1, submit the letter to me. See, now because I'm submitting, I'm having her or asking her, and it'd be like, yes, do submit the letter, please. Remember, I told you long ago and multiple times, I think, in these previous videos, I have a theory that if I tell her to do something, even if she says she'll do it, and then I say, oh yeah, do it, that she'll flip and do it different. Yeah, remember that time I was in Spain? She says, oh, let's have restoration of the family. I came back, oh, that's great. Nah, psych, just kidding. There's an order of protection. For what? Fuck, My grandpa's here for years, we were taking care of him. I say to her, hey, by the way, don't ever think about jeopardizing this. Oh, now I say don't jeopardize? The very next day I'm going to fly him to Poland. Just to get you, just as antagonization. Just to make it anti whatever you do. She says, she wrote in the earlier email, if not, I'll leave the letter under the door. I say, good, leave the letter under my door. Later you're going to see, no, I'm not leaving the letter under your door. Fuck. You can't be, all of you in the audience are probably going, oh my God, block her already. She's clearly showing you she doesn't give a shit. She's clearly showing you she is okay with being in default and continuing to disrespect you. Because, yeah, that's disrespect. Talking to me and saying that and pulling that stunt that I just said would be pulled as the spoiler alert, yeah, is what she ends up doing. That would be disrespect, wouldn't it? All of you go, yeah, of course. All right. You see where this is going. I've already previewed that. That's sick. I wrote to her, 1, submit the list. Now, if my mom's watching this, now you understand actually why you're fucking screwed and guilty all over. Guilty. You keep doing wrong. You repeat it wrong again. You repeat offense again. You repeat sin again. All the witnesses are seeing clearly. God, it is annoying. Why is she doing that? Trying to understand Barbara. And they're like, they can't even understand her because it's not actually purified of heart of God. Just you're sicko manipulator. You're twisted, confused. The confusion isn't in confusion. What the fuck? So I go on number 2. I say, do that first thing, yeah. Then I go on to say number 2, do reach Anthony and also the Fallon ASAP as indicated in the previous email. Number 3, remember to never make offensive offers again. I repeated it. I put it as a clear point. How much you want to bet that she's going to put something new that's just a new offensive thing? Okay. So if she does this, I'm going to have a moral obligation to write to her saying, if you repeat it again, I will have to block you. And we did this cycle before in the previous multiple sets of email cycles. Remember? I don't remember how she slivered out of that one. Help us. She's begging subconsciously, please enforce against me. My broken woman programming doesn't understand anything except keep opposing you until you fully punish me all the way. There is nothing else. There is nothing else. That has to be why these types act out like this. Because they secretly want to be punished more. And when we say, she better stop acting wrong because we might have to block her, she only understands, God, please better do show me how you're going to block me. And she can only find that manifestation by getting at you even more. The sickness of it. Anything devil, demonic-like, or Lilith-like in this world is going to be exterminated. Puh! I hate this shit. Stop abusing the dignity of grown human men. Stop abusing the dignity of grown human men. And as number 3 says, remember to never make offensive offers again, which are offers that fail to regard the dignity of the person. God, that beautiful substantive essence encapsulates everything that's fucking wrong with the mother and what she's doing. Do we disagree or agree? If you disagree, tell me in the comments below. But if you agree, tell me in the comments below. Help me. I'm a little pissed that I don't find any comments on these, even though many times I offer it. Whoever's listening and is not taking heed, please take heed. I really mean it. Literally, please leave me a comment, because it's live feedback on the fly of what you're seeing and how your gut feel is. By the way, some of us, maybe some witnesses I might be watching, see? When you watch through 120 hours and then you get to the end and then there's a memory problem because you guys don't have superhuman contextual frames, sort of, I have something closer to that, but most people don't, which is just how people are. It's okay. But given that, you do remember how you feel during each live moment you're hearing the thing. So for each live moment can be an interjected comment. Oh, I heard that. Yeah, I agree. Quick pause. Write in. 22 minutes in. Yeah, that bitch fucking crazy, right? Oh my God. Enter. God, I got it. It's recorded there forever. Good. Then later, go on later. So you felt 3 or 4 things and it made you stop 3 or 4 times, and each time you felt it, you wrote it in about it. Then 3 months later, when we're done with 160 videos or whatever, we're not left with, oh, what are we talking about again? Because when we look back, every time your heart wrung, you made sure to follow through with a quick comment to tack that onto that. Now we have a chain of many, many comments. So look, we told the story of every single aspect that the witness naturally felt was wrong about the situation. She was naturally witnessing it through these videos as it was being exposed to her. Beautiful. That's what I would envision. That's why I kept and I knew that in advance. You can see how many layers deep this goes? That's why I kept. So every time something falters in the systemic programs, why? Is because somebody didn't listen. Anybody in the world about anything. As a general truth, it tends to ring true almost fucking perfectly. When the way is set, and it's rooted from insight and wisdom, and it's set, and then the final product we end up with is not insight and wisdom, is because someone got the prompting, but just kind of overrode it, thinking there'd be, but you didn't see that it would make the spread of the inconvenience, how it will grow. You don't foresee that part, because lack of insight can't perceive lack of insight, and you don't even know what you don't know in life. So please leave a comment. Thank you. Returning to this, so that's the end of the email. Returning to the context of what's been going on in this email. Now, I did a pretty good job in this email. Really, if we do end up actually, now we're all on guard. Now all of us are hanging. This matters to us. This matters. Anyone who's imagining themselves being in my shoes is like, oh my God, yeah, what the fuck is all this sick abuse from her? It's like laced and faked as this fake, we're going to help. But really, she doesn't give a shit about it because she's not, that's right, she's not passing the substantive test. What is it? She's not showing the real, actual, true consideration of what her son wants. If you want to like people and have them like you and you want to be on their good terms, do you consider what they like? Brain open. No, not if you're Barbara Winslow. Oh, it doesn't matter what I do. Oh, but they'd better be good with me anyway. Oh, it's all delusion land. People have to pay through suffering and nothing else. God help us. Oh, but by the way, she simply replies back simply, okay, I will do that. So she even further gives a blanket agreement and shows like, yes, okay. So that only puts double the karmic obligation on her. Like, now if you fuck up, you're really fucking fucked. Because you literally just said, okay. God, where's this gonna go? It never fucking ends. Hurt these people. Karmically, spiritually. Fuck. Stop hurting other people or God will hurt you. I swear. I swear to fucking God. Next. What emerges? On April 24th, my mom writes back. Interesting things come up. Actually, this is the first time I'm speaking about this on a live coverage on a video. One aspect of this is a little concerning. I might raise it up with Fallon. Fallon and I right now are talking properly, I guess, but something here isn't adding up. A lot of things around me here and there and a lot of places don't seem to be adding up. But let's just take a look at this. Regardless, but let's just take a look at what she wrote. She says, I was waiting for Anthony and Fallon to answer me, so it took a bit of time. But now she has answers from both of them. So here's what she has to say. Now keep in mind, everything we discussed, yeah? Everything, the whole context, like, right, she's, with Anthony, she's there to really inform him how upset she is about everything that he's done. Okay. And we got that part. Makes sense, too. Makes enough sense that we get it. Okay. The lady, meaning Fallon, said that, and she said, what? That she isn't interested in talking to me, as she has other things to do. I never got that memo. Actually, that was the opposite of what I asked Fallon to do. So if Fallon's watching this as witness, maybe let me know what's going on, because my head's spinning here a little bit, and no one explained anything to me as to why this is like this. That's extremely strange and out of the blue. Someone help? Okay, but regardless, things are going all right for now. Maybe. We'll see. Hopefully everything will stay proper. All right? Remember, class, remember, kids, whenever something looks funny and you're being called out, repentance, atonement, a sprinkle of atonement to the right level, and life can be beautiful. It's all that it takes. All of life can be beautiful. Make all of life beautiful. Love yourselves, love everyone else, love God. All three are in alignment at once. People who hate God or resent God and hate other people is because they hate themselves. So they hate living correctly. They hate treating other people correctly. There's dysfunctions and defects in many little places in their whole, like DNA has like defects and mutations, and enough of them, it just fucks up the growth of the whole overall picture of what you get. Right? Living is like that. All right? Just that simple. All right. Well, we're moving on. But also, God, this is so crazy. That's not the most serious thing. Let's proceed to the next thing she says, because that's also even stranger, and look at the context of what she's saying, because it gets more bizarre and more bizarre. And she goes on to say to me that Anthony also said, well, he doesn't want to be involved at all in any controversy, no emails or calls. What? Which is my mom representing what? That Anthony, when she was approached by my mom, said back to my mom, oh, I don't want to be involved in any of those things between you and your son anymore, presumptively meaning I don't want to be involved as like a continuing witness within the moral controversy between you and your son. Oh, I don't want to be involved in that anymore. Why are you approaching me about the things between you and your son? I'm not involved anymore, so if you're reaching me now months later for some reason, I'm just going to assume it's because it's about something about that issue. Well, I'll just magically say, well, I don't want to be involved, and that's all that's going to be that. Right, so in context, if one in Anthony's position is trying that trick on you, you then obviously go, no, I don't want you to be involved in our situation. I'm reaching you to tell you you're a piece of crap. Re-establish correct context. That's why I'm reaching you, Anthony, and you need to know it. Oh, ooh, and that's when he begins to shrink and go, ooh, whoa, whoa. Nothing else. But my mom should know that sensibly. See, that part almost goes, it doesn't even need to be said. It goes unsaid that's obvious. So that's why I'm confused about what my mom just did, because she said that there, but then what she wrote there wasn't followed by anything reasonable, such as, well, when he said that stupid shit, I obviously told him right back, dumbass, I'm not reaching you for fucking help or that you're going to be involved in our controversy. I'm reaching you because I realize what a fucking ass friend you are and a bad person, essentially. And you'd better know it. Oh, shit. No, she just wrote that to me and then nothing else. So it's like, so now I'm being given this on a platter, which is poo-poo platter, and it's like my mom tacitly representing this to me, tacitly representing or asking, is that okay? Is that how it should be going? No, it shouldn't be. Obviously, if he's doing that to you, super obviously, you should have straightened him out. God almighty. I literally already... You can't make this stuff up, guys. Help! Why is everyone's brainless? Did aliens come in everyone's sleep and take out all of your brains? What happened? Why? I never figure that part out. I just don't get it. It's so obvious. Why isn't it obvious? I could go on forever. Let's continue. All right? So we understand that part. So reasonable people listening to this would be like, yeah, fair play. Makes sense. And then here's what my mom says next. Again, April 24th. I will give you a letter this week. Let's keep this in context. Remember, I recently wrote to her about this relevant matter here. Hey, obviously we shouldn't be meeting, and meeting doesn't make sense. But I recommend you write the letter and give that to me. But no, a meeting's not merited until you're actually showing at the very least that you're fucking sorry for the old crap you did, and that you're so sorry that I actually fucking believe you, which is another level. Good luck. Get it? It's fair. It's what God says. Yes, that is the way I unfold my energy through this matrix plane. Exactly like that. Like what John's saying there. Yes, the other stuff's not quite it. Yeah. So stop worshipping other formats, idiots. It's really that simple. No, you are, until you realize what the correct format is. She says, yes, I will give you the letter this week. You see it with your own eyes yourselves. Stay well. So it's just more affirming, okay, I'm giving you the letter. Yeah. Letter's nothing to do with the meeting. Like, it's clear. I'm just giving you that letter. Yeah. That aspect was made clear multiple times. Do we agree? We agree. Magic question for the future. If she were to emerge days later, even weeks later, number one, the offense that it's weeks later is that she failed on the promise to give the letter, and then later, when she's asked him on it, when she's asked about it, would it be crazy if she were to come out and say, "Oh, to try to frame reverse everything"? Imagine, like you'd all be like, "No, she can't be that stupid that she would break the proper format again and try to frame reversal like she always has been to try it again." What would a bad frame reversal look like? It would look like something like, "Oh, you the one that meet with me? Oh, that's bad. Oh no, I'm not giving you any letters. Letters are only supposed to be when we meet." Like something, like every aspect of what's sensible would be flipped reverse, and it would end up as what I just said there for you, right? Yeah, that's crazy. What do you mean? What would you? Is it possible for a woman like that who's alive and still living and has a normal brain to try to flip like that and then feed it back to you? No, anyone would be like, "No, God, she can't be that stupid, please. She literally just said, here, I'll give you the letter, because you're not meeting." Which she said prior that if you're meeting, she'll give you a letter, but if not, then she can still give you the letter. Yeah, it's all fucking horror. There's no respect for you that I'd better make sure to do what I say with you because I respect you. It's Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Whoop, am I here? Am I there? Oh, maybe I never was there. Psych, gaslight, 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 gaslight. Fuck, kill yourself. So I write back to her. Not quite understanding what her deal is. A little thrown off by the Anthony curve. I simply write back to her here on April 26th. I'm responding to what you've written with this video response to you, which I sent her thereafter in this link. I'm not going to cover this video response, incorporating it into here, but summarizing it. It's me explaining to her, in essence, why in life, when Anthony and people like him fuck up, the correct thing to do, spent over an hour explaining it, is to go and rebuke them so that you're bringing every part of this whole puzzle back to where it's supposed to be, through guiding everyone through the correct emotional pathways. Heal the earth. Heal the planet. We are the planet's chakras, living and walking around. You get it? That part is clear enough. So, that link was there. Keep in mind, it was given to her on April 26th. It's a simple, about a 1 hour video. If she is desperately showing her, trying to petition for her good looks in this situation, that she should merit the good considerations, probably if your son sent you an hour-long video, you would have watched it really within 3 or so days if you have free time and don't work anymore, or she sits at home all day, which is the case now, as far as I understand. Okay, all right, keep this all in mind, because you're going to, what? Keep tracking offenses. Keep tracking offenses. Find where people are good or evil in life, and what evil is. It's this. You're looking at evil. Evil is fucking acting like this your whole life without care. It's fucking reckless, fucking evil. Okay? Yeah, so I wrote to her as a result of the weird, open-ended kind of, I don't know, thing that she gave there about the Anthony thing. He said he didn't want to be contacted. Right, duh. Let's get straightened out again. So the link is there, the video there straightens her out. And then the email here, I said, I'm incorporating the video into the email by reference. Here, please watch it fully. And then, after you watch it fully, I asked her on April 26th, I said, follow up with Anthony in the appropriate and indicated way. Duh. So now I'm just repeating myself. Okay. Let's see where it goes. Remember, she said okay originally. She said okay, and yet she can't really handle this, it seems. Continuing. Once that is further along, then we can add, or rather we can and should discuss more, and we'll complete that issue and whatever else. I say furthermore, just write back with anything that's important about this. I'll respond to the other points raised by you within the above emails, within this thread before long, because my God, it's sometimes even too much, even for me. I have to do all this recording. I have to preserve and memorialize all this, because I'm being disrespected, which is essentially abuse, what abuse is to a man, and no one's fucking helping enough yet, and it keeps persisting is the worst part. The whole point of cutting people contact, because so if she doesn't know how to regard the use of email, she wants to meet as if she's going to honor and treasure like the sacred egg, the protection of the sanctity of meeting. She isn't even protecting the sanctity of emailing with me. Because within emails, she's fucking shitting disrespect all over me through the way she's acting. As you see by my reaction. If your son's angry with the way you're treating him, it's probably because you're fucking up. Look and see. Oh God, how much more obvious can it get? Look at this. Look at your life. Look at what you've done. Proceeding. Boom, forwarding to the next emails. About 3-4 days later or so, Mom writes back. Now, imagine we're all wondering, if you're in the mom's position and you had all that be told to you and you're within all of that, my God, how careful you would be with what you write back. Is like, lady, if you fuck up here, you're really fucking stupid. You can't possibly. Is she? Let's see. She writes, hi, how are you? I hope you are well. Is there any way we could meet? Oh, God, not again. She doesn't say, I'm sorry for the previous things that made you not want to meet with me. Just, come on, let's meet now. Alright, so right there, huge offense. Huge spit in my face. Disregarding everything I said. Even when she said, okay, I will do that, which she indicated express acceptance. Nah, just kidding. Shit on you in reverso again. Blah, shit in your eye. That's how these people are. So imagine, a man in my position that you're going to get talked to like this is like, you don't fucking understand? That's why you're the death. That's why you're in the end of, you're corrupt, you're cursed. You're all screwed. God, there's no release from this until you're fully condemned by full witness rebuke. That's it. God help us. She continues. She says, I know you declined my request to me, but let's examine, is this narcissistic cluster B style of thinking? I know you declined it, but I still think it's crucial to move forward. Mind you, number one, do you see the narcissism here? Yeah, it's called, I don't care what you think. I think something different, so therefore it's okay for me to disregard you in a way that's just blatant. Yeah, we've seen that patterning absolutely hijack all of the way my mom has acted. All witnesses write this down. Huge mega points here, huge mega energy here. The way she's treated me all these years. This is what it was considered the definitive cluster B, and actually even psychopathic, but they're all interrelated, definition. Not regarding the rights and dignities and of others and the things that others are entitled to, or not respecting the bounds of the flow that's supposed to be. It's just you have a completely different beat of your drum, but that goes wrong. Right here. I know you declined to request me. I think it's crucial to move forward. So that's why I think you should reconsider it. Well, I can't reconsider it if you didn't deserve to have it be reconsidered. So here she's just confessing, I'm not going to respect what you said. I just want to get my way, and I'm just going to try to do it by being get pushy here to push you through. It's like someone walking you up in the street and just shoving you. And they say, yeah, you better respect me now because I'm going to just shove you if you don't get out of my way. It's confrontational in essence. So is this respecting what the person wants, who they victimize by their inconsideration? And I say, I want this, I want that. So right here already, she probably should have been warned to be blocked. I don't know how I forgot that part, but this is just absolutely fucking insane. I'm the one who's falling off the mark because I should have fucking ritually fucking slaughtered her fucking karmic ass by now. What the fuck? Just this shit is like, God, not again the dumb. How does she repeat the same patterns of behavior? She's told many times, this constitutes evil and death. Do not fucking do it. It pisses me off. It doesn't matter that it pisses me off. That's the insensitivity of broken yin, broken woman, where she hurt someone else and their tears don't make her go wah. That's broken mommy. That gets condemned. Fuck. God, what else is more obvious? Hate it. Go kill yourselves. Keep this in mind. Number one, she conflates something interesting. She says, I know you declined my request to meet, but I think it's crucial to move forward. What's the conflation? Us meeting is what constitutes moving forward, but by further implication, her implicit representation here, which is, of course, we see the sickness here for what it is, the snakiness, her implication here is that, not meeting is not moving forward. See the frame flippo game that the disingenuous and the bad do? Therefore, she attempts to pose here implicitly that, if we're not meeting because you don't want to meet, therefore you're the one who's responsible for preventing all of these from moving forward the good way. Oh! You see how their minds work? Obviously, by now, anyone witnessing and watching is saying, wow, first of all, that's so disgusting that the mother here is even attempting this. Is that for this alone, she should be ritually fucking slaughtered and condemned by everybody watching. There should be a fucking fire in a camp and fucking, she should be in the middle fucking under axes and people should be angry. Don't you get life? Live life again on earth. Not this weird modern shit. You're all dead inside. What the hell happened? Continuing. This is the first point. But the second point... Oh, I just had it. I can't remember. Well, you pretty much get the point. This is insane. And this really, I'm not having it. This is another offense. Tick box. Another bullet point. Here's another offense. There it is again. You know, the words of April 30th. In how many ways this is offensive? It's like, my God. Continuing. She goes on to almost say, the letter is almost ready, and I would like to give it to you when we meet. Okay. But, of course, she said earlier that, you know, if we don't want to meet, it's okay, first of all. And second of all, well, I'll still give you the letter even if we're not meeting, because, of course, as I originally indicated, that's the purpose of a letter. Right, she wouldn't try to do some weird mind flippo thing if I simply tell her, no, that doesn't work, doesn't make sense, and all that, etc., etc. Yeah, just keep tracking this, okay? Because I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I shit on this. Fuck. God. I can't even hold it in anymore. God. I'm not planning a school shooting. I'm just saying that in life, generally, when abusive mothers like this go on, and then some of those kids go out to guys, men even go out and fucking shoot kids at schools, you're never surprised as to why when you find out their backstory. I'm not planning a school shooting. I'm saying stupid mothers are the mothers who, in the aggregate general, are the ones who are making a higher risk that for those other kids that do end up doing it, they're under that shit, and it's fucking this. It's disgusting. That's the fucking offense. Fucking puh, and more fucking puh. So she even tells me she didn't acquire. This is the narcissism again. The same fucking seed devil program. The next sentence of hers is, please do it this week if possible. She's telling me when to fucking do it. What? She doesn't bother checking in with me that I agree that we should meet. First she says, I don't think so, let's just meet, because I said so. And number two, then she preassumes that we are going to meet, so now, please do. You better do it this week now. So please do it then. Please do it. What? It's not being done ever. Fucking at this rate. So it's just the self-absorption. That's the fucking. Come on, audience, witnesses, tell me that you're not beholding this, going like, God, like, what the fuck is wrong with her? What? How could she be this mind twisted? John explained everything a million times in a million different ways, the same thing. How is this still happening? She doesn't say why it's a good reason. She doesn't offer. Here's what's also stunning. Yeah, you're right. She doesn't even offer anything of substance. Like, let me really explain to you more. You see how there's no substantiation? It's just, I think we should meet. And then, but you're like, right, why? Because I think we should meet, that's why. So remember, for a narcissist, and only narcissists, that is enough. That's enough. They don't have to they don't have to do an emotional tending to your heart to get the emotional permission and according with you. And they don't have to get the logical one. They're not going to logically explain why it would. No, she skips the argumentation about the logic to debate or discuss. She skips the emotional aspect. She's not going to build an emotional bridge with you that I should be emotionally wound up to like see it her way. No, I don't need to just, okay, meet now. Oh, fuck. Just, it's the ultimate mind blow of all of reality. I'll never stop saying it because it is true. It's just true. That is ready, but that has nothing to do with us meeting, but all of a sudden I say we meet. And now do it this week too. Crazy. I'll continue. Also, if you need any kind of help. Wait, the thing I said, don't offer me help again? Remember, if I tell her do something, she then switches to not doing it, even if she was willing to do it before. And if I say don't do something, then she'll do it, even if she was it just doesn't end. It's flip a reversal. The same stuff I warned about before, now you're seeing it. It's like, God, John was right. You know, literally everything he said before, how's it going to go, like going now, it's like kind of surprising, but yet kind of not, because it's just part of the same patterning she's been showing. So she writes here, also, if you need any kind of help, please let me know. That's it. You just broke God. You just broke God with that sentence right there. And he's unbreakable, but in your mind you broke him. Without realizing it, you spiritually broke your connection to him. Because that's disgusting. More of the same bullshit. I'd be happy to help you. Translation to the man's mind. I'm happy to shit on what you want because you told me not to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway because this is my way of saying, fuck you, I'm the mother and you're the slave. / it doesn't matter what you think, only what I think matters when I'm the mother. See the sickness? This, yep, that has that all over it. True statement, everybody agrees. If you agree, please put in the comments below, because that's the indignation, that's the offense aspect of it. How we're going to keep track of our offenses otherwise, because you'll forget it in 10 minutes if you keep listening to me. But we had it here. Don't drop the nugget. Don't drop the nugget. By pausing and commenting is how you preserve the nuggets. I made that clear before. We continue. Now, as if she didn't drop enough balls thunderously here enough, regarding the Anthony matter, I made it clear, right, go, I recorded a new separate video for her. That was more of a real direct response to that email. I explained multiple times, no, we deal with the Anthony situation exactly for the reasons I made clear. Her strange response didn't make sense. I cleared it up. It should have been. Yeah, so to all that, the only normal response would have been, right, I see your point, John. You know, it is important that we defend our honor and our dignity as a family. I am going to keep trying to contact him. All that stuff makes sense. Remember, no, when you're barber, it's all reversal. So it's not like, it's like every part of it's reversed. What's her next line? Anthony doesn't want any contact with us, so... Well, it's obvious what the fuck we should do. I made that part earlier. I think everyone agrees. But she says, well, Anthony doesn't want any contact with us, so how can I even proceed? I'm not clear about that. Imagine, guys, it cannot be clear how she merits another meeting. Oh, but in her mind, I'm pushing another meeting. It's clear. But on things she should be clear about, which is getting Anthony because of how wrong he is, on that, no matter how many times I make it clear, she says, I'm not clear about it. Help us. The sickness never ends, but I'm glad to show you for what it is. I'm fucking done. How many, am I going to be kept as a prisoner to make videos forever? Because she just keeps repeating. It's so easy for the sick people that are in her position. She just has to keep doing the same thing again. Bait and switch, bait and switch, bait and switch. Big truth there. Comment below. Yes, bait and switch is what it is. Oh, yeah, we're going to work it out? Okay, I'll do it. Okay. No, just kidding. I changed my mind. The whole time, paradigm's broken. And you're wrong. God says, don't be a bitch. God says, love people. And this isn't love. So that's why this is sin. See, you understand now? You understand now? What the fuck is it? Stop torturing people. This tortures people when you do this. What are you doing? That's the fucking point. Stop hurting people and then be... Fuck. And finally, let me know what you think. Okay, so already here I should have warned her. Okay, you did the thing I asked you not to do, and you did it again, which is part of a many months long, years long pattern, and then you did it again. So you need more severe consequences. Anything other than that is only encouraging you that that's fine for you to get away with, which only entrenches her dopamine wiring. She becomes more apt to do it still again, even more again. Like, fuck. Like, stop these people. God says, stop these people for me down there on earth. You move. Do the thing you're supposed to do. Block these people. Cut them. Publicize them harder. Make it more hurt on them. Get it? Fucking somebody, God, take compassion on my fucking ass. Look at this shit. The torture this one woman will put her son through. Any disrespect is psycho acid to my face. To any man who has self-respect. Women don't understand this. Women go, do whatever you want. It's all toilet paper for the butt. They don't care. Fuck. Puh. So teach them with pain, in essence. Figuratively. Spiritually. Tough stuff. It is tough stuff to behold. This much is true, we see. What do? I respond. And first of all, I'm confused because, well, my God, she got to that conclusion, but presumably, at least she probably watched that video, right? Very simple thing that was sent to her. Watch. April 30th. Before I address any of the concern. Did you watch my video? If so, then how on earth in the hell can you say, in some puzzled and confused way, in essence, that he doesn't want any contact, so that she doesn't know what to do? What? Didn't you watch what I just sent to you? Here's the link again. Link posted. Thereafter, I say to her, your response here to me, then, is extremely confusing. How do you think it is a sensible thing for you to say to me, in essence? Continuing, I go on to explain to her. I say, look, in life, if Anthony did wrong by making offense against your son and you, then do you think that he's immune from being approached angrily by one in your position all the way? Like, hello? Why am I having a hard time with you brainless zombies here? Wake up, I go on to state here. What are you confused about? What? And honestly, it's like kind of like, yeah, like, what the fuck is wrong with this woman? One would wonder watching this. Continuing. As for the letter, and now more nonsense. Why would you wait for an in-person meeting if both, and then there'll be more than 2 points, if A, you know that there cannot be one in either case as a result of your prior meeting cancellations by you that have gone unrepented for those wrong cancellations that you made, Barbara, remember? Which therefore makes any new meeting essentially intolerable for one in my position by the basis of dignity. So you don't win, you don't overroll that or steamroll it by just going, yeah, but I want to, that's me. That doesn't work because it doesn't change anything about the situation you're in. It just makes you look, the only effect that you saying that has is making me more angry and pissed that you're dreaming to even try, because the dreaming of even trying the wrong thing again after you've been asked not to do it again is only more offense, which makes people more, you're not closer to getting the objective, because over pushy doesn't work with someone who you violated the boundaries of before. It doesn't work when they're now more on guard on boundary violations and they're harder enforcers. You don't beat them by violating their boundaries even more. So what this is, this conduct by her, essentially constitutes more boundary violations. I know you said it, but I don't care. Let's meet now, I said. God, no, because it's a respect boundary violation. So how does she win me? It's like crazy. How does she imagine this woman really is brainless? Because even any woman knows that you entice, you coax something, a fly goes to honey. It's not even honey, it's just, I tell you we meet, now we meet. No one thinks that's attractive. It's senseless lack of respect, and what's attractive to a man is lots of respect for him. See? Figure it out. Everything dumb people do is always opposite, and we see it's the same thing typified by my mom's behavior here. It's opposite of what it should be that would be sensible. It's disgusting, then. Continuing. I said, her actions, therefore, as I said in the parentheses, makes any new meeting intolerable for as long as there's no regret and remorse and no cause to believe that you are sorry for that stuff you did, the cancellations before, and that you also admit it is wrong, can't meet. And, further points, B, you were also already informed that I'd be not meeting with you anyway, in either case, without some active witness or any other person involved who's present. We're also, C, and this is a safety thing, of course. For many ways, there should be someone there. Fuck. I might get so pissed off at her that I decide to fucking go punch her in the face. Well, it's not going to happen with her. I'm making up a crazy illustration, but I've never punched her in her face. But the point is, have a witness there, because it does keep things more civil. The degree of civility will be increased with a witness. So why she want to rush for? Forget it. Secondly, if she says things and then something's twisted later, if I have a witness, you can't twist it. Everything was clear. Plus, when she's there and we're arguing, if no one's there with us, there's no one to turn to on the spot to like set the balance proper and the pressure set proper where the attention should be and what the direction should be. And remember, the devil always tries to reverse and undermine. So when God says, if step one rebuke does work, you go progressively to involve more people. Well, evil people want to undo that. They want to whittle it back down to make it less people. So if you petition for a meeting where you see, well, by implication, there won't be a witness there. We don't have one that's prompt and agreed to be involved in meetings in person. Her petitioning for a meeting is the petition to essentially, effectively, wear it back away so that you're not operating anymore within a paradigm between me and her where there's some form of record, some witnesses. No, she's wanting to favor, more recently, a paradigm of, listen, I want to give you letters, but don't tell anyone about these letters. And then we're going to be meeting and, no one else will be there at those meetings. It'll just be you and me. Why? Because evil wants to get away with evil. That's the instinct of it. It doesn't even know why it does it. Just like the scorpion doesn't know why it stings. It just stings. Okay? Her instinct is to do that because her instinct is the fallen instinct, as was described many times by Jesse Lee Peterson in the videos that were in my channel. So when she watched those videos, what's amazing is that I didn't get an email from her here in the recent days where she goes, in video number 30-something, not long after the Labor Day weekend cancellations, you put a lot of those videos by Jesse Lee Peterson. And my God, when he started talking about how the devil has us women falling a lot and the way we are, it really grew on me, and I realized that there could be some validity to it. It had me self-reflect, and then I changed, and I became... You don't see any of that. You just see more... Come on, meet now. I said so. God, it's like autism mixed with some Alzheimer's. What the fuck is happening? Help us, God. Mixed with cluster B and narcissism, of course. All is some strange mix. That's the way I see it. God. Gotta be sorry for the wrong you did to merit the reversal of the prohibition that came from the offense that you did. That's the ultimate God law. If I broke that, I'd be violating against God law. Why would I do that for her when she's the one who has pissed me off? If she pissed me off, she didn't merit my favor. But yet she's trying to act like I should be making her favors, in essence, by overlooking and giving her... Okay, let's meet, yeah. Why? She didn't look into the motivational why? I serve God's perfect framework, not ugly fucking character of the ugly heart and twisted mind. See? Continuing. We understand that part, and the witnesses, etc. C. I'm going to say, why would you wait for such a meeting to accomplish the purpose of giving a letter to one in my position? I raised this earlier, as we recall. I'm going to say here, if during a meeting in life, generally, you're able to speak directly to someone, which goes around the purpose of a letter, where letters are for people who you are trying to communicate with or inform that are not directly accessible to in person. Right? Duh. In other words, why would you delay or condition the giving of a letter upon a meeting, even regardless of the above points? We already saw her saying and promising earlier, I could give you the letter without a meeting, no problem. I'll give you a couple days. Now it's like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. What? But she was guilty of this already before, where she was called out on it, and she does it again. I'm the idiot if I'm not blocking her and making it more penalized. It has to be higher penalties, and then more and more penalties for every wrong, crooked toe. God, help us. These are good questions. Me asking these questions, Socratic style method questions, don't seem to be working though. So her watching all the videos and completing the playlist doesn't seem to be working. The way that she's acting like this, the fact rather that she's acting like this even after she watched everything and watched all the AI analysis, like my God, all the life-changing, mind-changing, fundamental reprogramming that this was, it did nothing. It's like, oh, what was that? I don't know. Oh, same thing, no problem. That's God showing me, now you can be sure she's irredeemable. Now you have to go all the way. That's your responsibility as a son for the mother. You go the most to the way to really see she's irredeemable. Now it's like, now it's clear. 100 out of 100 reasonable people would agree that she's too far gone. You can close the chapter on her now. Forget it. Block it. She is wrong. Witnesses would certify it, publicize it, put this all over Reddit, let 10, 50 million people see it. God gives us protection over any such thing. Because he sees, yes, she kept refusing to do what's right, even though he told her multiple times in a clear way. So she inherits that bad karma. It has to hurt for her in her life to fuck up. All people, it has to hurt in their life to fuck up, but by God's proper sense of justice of what constitutes right and wrong. Not man's twisted conception of what's right and wrong. A lot of thug men will come out and hurt you because they're enforcing a paradigm, but it's actually wrong what they're doing, but in their heads, localized, it's right. No, cuckoo. The whole world's going to be under one dominion soon, honey bunnies. And you'll live to see it. My email continues to her. And I say, in other words, why would you delay or condition the giving of a letter upon a meeting, even regardless of the above points? And furthermore, remember that part earlier where I said she conflated something artfully in her mind, obviously, first, and then to try to sell that to me in writing to me through email as if I'm going to buy that shit. That it's somehow me who's against moving things forward, in essence, basically. No. Her acting like this, here, this whole general course of conduct that we see from her, obviously, in context and with full insight, and nuanced insight, her conduct obviously is the thing that is anti the way it properly should be moving forward by God's understanding of how things properly ought to move forward in life. Don't go by your human mind's understanding, corrupt human mind's understanding how it should go forward. You go with God's understanding of how it should move forward. Open your mind. Bible tells me to cut everybody off, even my own parents, if they are anti the way and they're doing like this. They don't honor you, they don't make big dignity, they just make a twisting mess. This is what twisting messes look like. May everybody on earth one day, God, I hope, really please learn and see this as the example. This is what sickness looks like. All mothers act like this will be the first ones in the new world to be condemned the most. I tell her and remind her in parentheses. Remember, when I say something that has meaning, when I say something that has value, the ultimate gaslight, when you're a mom like this to the son, is acting as if everything I say doesn't have any turning power upon a soul. You see? That's the fucking ultimate frame job. Write this for a million years, then she'll just write, oh, God, I'm going to do this, me, that. Like, as if everything was written as of no effect. That's God showing you, yeah, it had no effect. So you can properly send her to hell now. I will bring her to hell. She will move into hell and suffer there karmically. This is her, she's choosing. Look. Shouldn't she feel bad for this if she's supposedly religious? No, because there's no change in behavior, even though we're conveying her these realities. So we're going to convey it again, make a final record on video, and we're pretty much washed our hands of it because this is just about done. There's going to be a final email I'm going to write to her. You're going to see it live and say, if you make one more mistake, I guarantee you'll be blocked. I said this last time, but she somehow snaked around to it, acted. It's me who's being too lenient and soft. Not good. I'm going to learn my lesson by suffering under her crazy shit until I fucking finally put it under that she's going to need to be blocked, and only Fallon is going to be the only way to have any access into existence with your family. Or whoever signs up to be the witness at any point in time, given point in time. If there's no her woman program, he will bend, he will be the soft one, not me. Woman soft, man hard. You die for trying to reverse it, stupid asses. God said so. Figure it out. Continuing, I go on to state. Furthermore, D, why would you push for a meeting either way? In order to give a letter. Furthermore, particularly when you already prior indicated essentially that you'd be submitting a letter to me in a way that naturally precludes or would preclude any meeting by reasonable implication. I remembered correctly. As we reviewed it again now, she was clearly like, yeah, I'll just give you a letter of advice. And now she's trying to go back on it. Just for that one thing, just for trying to go back on that and respin, which you'll see a little more of coming up, just for that one thing alone, you're done. Condemned. Big X over you. Disgusting. These people try to get away with this. Every single aspect, that's an offense, and that's an offense, and that's an offense. Whoever's tracking the list, there's it is. You're hearing out of my mouth. Pause, make a list. Pause, dot, pause, bullet point, pause, bullet point. You got it. It's right here. Don't ever lose track. Same second you heard it and came across your mind, you have it right there to pause and add it onto your master list, or you're going to forget it forever. Continuing. For these reasons, I will go on to state to her, and others, a meeting isn't something that you appear to merit, or even likely to merit at this time. Who would disagree? Nobody reasonable. Continuing. I also, E is a fifth reason, flatly, just because of you, I don't trust you. I mentioned a little earlier, implicit for a meeting is trust. She lost that trust. Remember? So did she address the trust issue? No. She just wants to stamp her foot harder and louder and go, no, I said meeting now. Do it this week too. Nothing about, listen, let me work on actually having you earn my trust. Let me earn your trust again, son. Whereas that's the necessary part, which is why all this has to be repentance, atonement, because you're trying to earn the trust of the person you harmed. No, I don't. She basically, by her conduct, is framing, you don't have to trust me. It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit. Just do what I say. That's right. She's broken. Because that's fucking broken fucking thinking. Not good. Someone should be writing down also. Dot. She does this broken thinking. It is concerning. We'll have to talk to her about it. Beautiful. That's beautiful. We continue. So the fifth reason, don't trust you as you haven't earned back the trust, nor have you made the apology and atonement sufficient for this to even be partially restored. Which, by the way, is shocking. So she did this, but she didn't apologize for anything. So it's impossible for her to change my mind. So the answer is no, I won't change my mind. Think she'll come back and insist again? You can bet, because you're in hell. Get it? Or a person, as it goes on to say, in my position, I have to explain to her because she's dumb. Well, I have to keep explaining over and over again. But it doesn't matter. The explanations have no effect, as we've already found. Yet I'm still doing it. It makes sense to everybody else in the world except Barbara Winslow. The fuck? For a person in my position, as I go on to explain here, has to trust that you're not foolish, selfish, or inconsiderate enough to essentially provoke a person in my shoes suddenly within such a meeting or at any time afterwards that I trusted you because you implied that I ought to go along with it. How many times have I already fell for this? You fool me once, shame on you, but you fool me twice, it would be shame on me. I'm not stupid. Though we keep doing this shit. Nevertheless, I explain it to her here. So I can never be accused as guilty by any god in this multiverse can ever accuse me of having been not clear to her. I explain that as it goes on to say, would subsequently or inevitably naturally regret because of my own naivete and some issue breaks out with more argumentation, that would be my fault because I believed in her. Anytime the man believes in the woman, you're fucking screwed. Anytime Adam takes the apple from Eve, oh sure, no problem. Now you're all fucked. That was a fucking lesson from the beginning, you idiots. But anyone, I don't care what you think about the generality of the sexes and the role there. No, look at this exact position. Anyone would agree, and I go, well, in this actual specific case, yeah, it does happen to be true that John would be an idiot if it would be his fault if he kept, if he just went along with what she's trying to frame along. So there you go. That's all that fucking matters for here. It's that truth that does hold here. You'll just keep finding coincidentally in life, you'll see that similar dynamics crop up there, and it's like, oh my god, maybe the meta principle really is true. Oh, surprise, it has been all along, suckers. We continue. I go on to explain to her where Furthermore, a person in my position has to trust that you're not. Oh, we read this already. So that I don't inevitably, naturally regret making the re-engagement with you, I should say, in essence, yeah? That's 5 things. I go on. Sixthly, regardless of any of the above, why would any man actually want to submit to any meeting with someone where he has been given no cause to believe that the person with whom he'd be meeting is actually sorry for the wrongdoing? Of course, good point. Covered already. Proceeding. Till this point, I want to write to her. You have not admitted that you were wrong. Right, of course, we all realize this. It is funny to watch her keep doing that. It's like, what do you want a meeting for? Well, I want to say I'm sorry in the meeting, she might presume to say. No. You fucked up so bad in so many chains of offenses over the months that you kept wearing down more and more and more your son's trusted willingness to participate with you, and she fucked it up. She's guilty. She has to pay, not him. What are you fucking doing? Till this point, you've not admitted that you were wrong about anything, which our second witness, Fallon, also has noted, and she's commented about this after observing everything in the videos. You have even written to Anthony, in essence, that you have no idea what you did wrong and that you don't feel you've done anything wrong. Remember that, Mom? Any progress, I go on to explain to her, in the absence of any actual confession and repentance by you, any such progress within our relationship is truly impossible. And side note, by the way, make no mistake, it's not because I'm blocking you from moving forwards. That false slant doesn't work. That she's even trying false slants after the point where she realized that AI is fed everything and correctly sees all these amazingly insightful things about it. Really, every time Barbara's the one who's wrong and I'm right, I would do it again for this same thing, but I'm not going to waste my fucking time. I already established my merits and I'm resting on my laurels. I call it, I bat 1,000 on it, just about. I could call it from a mile away. I'm right already here. Anyone would see it. I don't have to go through this shit again. Stop wasting my time and fucking energy. Evil moms are the ones who sap your time and energy because you as the son must be a slave to the God force of what's right. So you're on the treadmill all along and they just go, here's another little bomb for you. That'll keep them busy for a while. You sickos, kill yourselves. Evil. That's what evil looks like, may be regarded. Fallon, please take notes. Witnesses, audience, note it. Look, acknowledge it. There it is. Let's do something about it. Let's make it the better world already. Come on, get up and go. I explain furthermore. The path, just to make their hope, but to explain what it means by godliness, what the terms would be. I say to her, the path to reconciliation is possible, but it has to be done with pure and full merit. And that is naturally true, of course. You just have to see that that is it. You have to bow your head and regard the way of life, not try to bend reality itself. Because as Jordan Peterson said, what are you going to do when that you bend it here, someone's going to go flip there. You try to bend it here, what are you going to do? Twist the fabric of reality? It doesn't work without having it snap back on you. I put that clip in so that Barbara would learn the lesson. If I put it in and she's still here trying to twist the fabric of reality, well, anyone else would see, yeah, she's trying to like borrow from Peter to pay Paul in a weird spiritual way, or trying to just twist it to just make it go a different way. It doesn't work like that. You have to actually bow and go, my God, how did you make this world that I'm not having it the way my little brain, old 60-something-year-old brain now thinks it should go, naively my whole life thinking, and now my whole relationship, family life is a complete mess. Am I really right when I sit there in my brain and think naively, yeah, it's my son who's the one. My son's the one who's difficult. No. Please, witnesses. Please, other people of this world. Make it clear to her, no, lady, man, it's not your fucking son. Damn it, it's you. She won't get it till she hears another human voice tell her that and mean it. I'm trapped until witnesses do it for me. Because victimizers don't listen to their own victims when the victims protest. Duh. Please God, in essence. Make God happy. Stand for dignity. Continuing, I go on to tell her, I see that the girl Fallon has reconsidered her position recently, is right, and is once again working with me to proceed on the matter here. So keep this in mind too. there will be time where she may reach you. Continuing to do something proper in this world, you should consider how to properly deserve the thing that you actually want to have or want to accomplish. True words. Wisdom. Huh? Continuing. A reminder once again. I am therefore, make it clear, there's no meeting, you have to deserve it, but the letter, the thing you promised, you're still in liability for providing the thing that you promised. You don't magically try to twist frame. So, once again, I said it straight. If we catch her trying to twist frame it again, she has to be guilty of that too, and it has to be condemnation. That's it. Put the more karmic curses on her. Something. Wake this shit up, please. So as I was saying here, I'm awaiting the letter that you promised. Further right. You have a bad track record. It should be alarming. She should be feeling shame. When she's reading this, she should be going, oh, God, fuck. Like, oh, what am I doing? Oh, I'm sorry. Get it. I'm writing to her. You do have a bad track record of nonsensibly withholding even a promised letter of yours to the point that it became insulting and offensive. Now, once again, you are seen or beheld as suddenly trying to magically make new conditions. I'm already calling around on it. You don't make new conditions, so don't even try it, and you're bad for it. How much you want to bet she's going to try it again and try to sell it even harder? Oh, no, different conditions, the same as I said before. No, it wasn't. We saw that. So we caught her. Watch, it gets sick. Fuck. It never, indignation, if you make indignation other people, that in a way that within the God structure is objectively incorrect, kill yourself, or God will kill you. Just start feeling shame, damn it. Start feeling shame, you evil wrongdoers. God help us. As I was saying, now once again, you're seen or beheld as suddenly trying to magically switch new conditions that, oh, now somehow a letter from you suddenly should be given during a meeting. What? That's not actually true. Or was it ever true, right? We covered that. I made sure to cover it in our review. Ostensibly, she also watches these videos where the hindsight aspect is applied onto her coverage of these emails. So she lived out the participation in the emails. Then she watches these videos to see the review about what she was doing that was wrong. And then she still doesn't learn and keeps doing shit that's wrong. It's the same level of offense. She pretty much hasn't changed her behavior. I just can't understand. It's blowing my mind. How's that even possible? How? Someone please just come up to me and go, look, we tried to save your mother. She needs to be in a mental institution, because that's the level of but they don't heal moral insanity. They only heal psychiatric insanity. But if you have a personality disorder but there's no other issue, no one's taking you away. The whole world needs to be restructured, because all the settings of the world do is promote sin and fucked up conditions. Help. So, I simply tell her, it's not actually true. And I make it clear now, watch. I say to her, if you do not submit any letter to me otherwise, as you promised, and if you again withhold this letter, if you again avert doing this critical thing that has been on the line here, then you will definitely, as a result, only end up further away from the potentiality of reconciliation and not closer to that potentiality for reconciliation. You see, it's just so clear, and then clear, and then clear again, and then you're going to watch what she does? It's just going to blow your mind again. Here we go. You'll see it again. Watch. I tell her again now, because I learned to make it summary, to just drill it extra into her brain. Like, oh, now I got it. You think the summary does the magic fucking thing? Oh, it's all hopeless. You got it? Doesn't matter if you tattoo it on her face in reverse so that she can read it in the mirror. It won't work. Something's wrong mentally, essentially. It would seem for sure, I think. In summary, 1, watch the full recent video linked above if you already haven't. Now she's told twice, so after 2 rounds of notices, it would be kind of insulting if she didn't watch it even after that, right? Okay, keep track, because offenses never end from her, and offenses only compound. So not only she's guilty of all that, but also how much you want to bet it'll turn out, oh no, I didn't watch that video. Not after twice. Come on, John. Come on, son. I don't give a shit about anything. Fuck. Just, whatever, right? Fuck everything. I don't do nothing. No, but you do stuff for me, okay? It just never ends, the sickness. Dignity or death is the saying of God, in essence. I think that's an extremely good one. You need to get it. So 1, watch the video. 2, confirm you watched it. 3, so that there can be proper response to Anthony from you, because that counts as a big part of this whole big picture, as we all see. 4, I want you to clarify and correct with me why you're writing stuff like, I don't even know what to do about Anthony, because the confusion there needs to be addressed. It shouldn't have even existed in the first place. Make accountability and clean it up. Don't be an idiot is the reminder. Wake up. Context. 5thly, continuing, prepare any other further natural response to what is above and what's outstanding. That is the key thing to address. And 6thly, prepare and submit the letter that you promised. Then based on the merit of what's in the letter, we'll see what the possibilities can be opened after that. So now if you're a normal person, you go, at least you review these emails. It's like, God, he did the work for me that I can just neatly see at the end what I have to do. No. Sick narcissists don't want to see what they have to do. They want to make you do stuff that you have to do for them, without considering the merit of the objective situation under God, so to speak. See? Their only self. The self is their God. Or they lie and say, I go to church. I love Jesus. I love God. That's all. You don't love Him and God if you are living like this. You're not operating according to the God paradigm. God help us. Okay? Offense number 1. To add now from here on, in response to this, I let 6 fucking days go by, no response from her. That in itself is a mind-blowing offense. So for keeping track of offenses, the 6-day gap of careless, you don't care enough to respond, guilty. That's item number 4075. Again, another item of guilt. Never ends. Wrong. Feel shame about it. Cut yourself. What? I didn't respond to my son. I should have. How dare I? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's better. Learn that. Yeah. Help us teach her that, and all broken people, for them to learn that. Good. Continuing. So naturally, I followed up with her. Now this is starting to be the recent emails, because she didn't say anything to any of that. So either you're responding properly and showing well, or you're not responding because at least, hopefully, you're too busy at least doing the right thing behind the scenes. Right? But if neither of those two are true, if we see you wrote nothing, and then I have to follow up, write a whole bunch of stuff, and then it gets exposed after that when you finally care enough to bother to respond, it's the same shit again. Yeah, it confirms the guilt, and you really just didn't bother, and you're all caked up full of non-caring fucking evil shit. That is the evil. It's this shit. Continuing. So what do I write to? I'm following up on what I asked you in the original email from a few days ago, here now. And secondly, regarding the letters, I could have done, in review, I could have done an even better job quoting all the many places. In this video, it should be clear what the fuck the deal is. Okay? Oh, God help us. I say, secondly, regarding the letters, you, Barbara, said to me, you, Mom, said to me in your email from me from April 21st, that's 15 days ago, as of the time of the writing of this email, just 2 days ago from now, which is today's May 8th, that I could leave the letter under your door in a day or two and take it from there. And then you, on April 24th, 12 days ago, said, I will give you the letter this week. So you promised me a letter 13 days ago, and then within a period of about 8 days ago, neither of those happened. Does she apologize? Keep it in mind, because if you skip that, you gave your word, it's very clear and it's in writing. My God, you know what evil people do? Even when you have what they said in writing, they will still change it and act like they were saying something else. You want to bet? That'd be crazy to do, right? If you're normal. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, they are that crazy. Watch. You said again on April 24th that I'll give you the letter this week. Where is I going to say to her? You then, on a third occasion, since then, have essentially represented that at least under some condition or circumstance, if not generally, there could or would be a timing of fulfillment of the production of some letter by the weekend now that has already passed completely. This is layers. And there's another one that came before that. So there's actually 4 rounds of offense on the letter and the reneging and the withholding and the averting. And I was like, got you again. Got you again. Got you again. Let's see, you're gonna try it again? How much you want to bet? So this shit never ends. Who's gonna hold her to account? What are you doing to your son? Someone should hold her up against the wall, holding her up by her collar. What are you doing against your son? Look what you're doing. You drive me crazy. What are you doing, you stupid woman? Look at you. You do that. You do that. She has to go, I did do that. Because right now she's like, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Like, she is in denial. She's in fucking denial that she's the one who's broken her family and her son. And all this shit. Look. It is fucking sick and heartless what she's doing. You just see it. It's disgusting. It's lack of love completely. But she's only thinking about herself. She wants to convenience herself. She wants to have a reconciliation with her son so that she can have it her way. So that she doesn't look like she's a bad mom anymore. Plus, she thinks that way is it better to get her son into therapy because it's about controlling people's lives and the narratives of things around her and not about actually connecting with your son, connecting in the relationship that you have with the mother-son, the family. You're strengthening the family bond. 2 very different things. God told you only to focus on one of those things and only one. Everything else is nothing. From a mother, a fucking mother, to her eldest son, the eldest living male in the family line. This is how you treat them? Big problem. Big curse. Big problem. Disgusting. I'm angry. I now continue to write to her. I say now it's May 6th. And even after recent email exchanges, you still have made 0 result on something that you promised explicitly twice or even 3 times. What is going on? What is wrong with you? These questions, a normal mom, she sees what's going on, so she would go, oh my God, I am sorry. Not this one, because she's broken. Being numbed is a brokenness. Always keep that in mind. Continuing. That is the brokenness of this day and age. Everyone's too numb. I'm extremely fully sensitized, but more sensitized than most of you. Most of you are all calloused and numb. Very bad. God can't get through calluses. Calluses do block God out. So you're all in trouble. Continuing. I go on to ask her, do you understand how this now that you have allowed here, the way she's been, all this, is overall the insulting result that you're bringing towards me? I make it clear. You appear guilty once again. Stop. Pause. Hold the presses. Now, once again, she's formally been told that she's guilty of something distinct. At this moment, her universe should be crashing if you're a good person. But if you're not a good person, it doesn't matter. It's as if nothing. She'll just write back and try to just, oh no, just reverting all the bullshit. Disgusting. So if you track later, it ends up, oh, John was right. Yes, you just did that weird flip bullshit thing. There you go. There's another tick mark, another bullet point. She did that. She did frame reversal on this date at this time in this way, and that's bad. Every line has to be held into account. I agree. If Fallon wants a more comprehensive understanding that's more like bullet point by bullet point, line by line, well, man, there we go. Here we go. And it's so deep that it's literally so deep it saturates everything. It's almost like infinite bullet points because it just never stops. It keeps repeating. Yeah, all of that. And summarily, you kind of just want to wash over it. You're guilty of all of this streak of interrelated offenses. That's it. It's clear what she's guilty of. She's guilty. Which kind of slightly puzzles me. You know, Fallon is a good assistant, it seems, but at this point, she's said particular things which say, yeah, it does kind of essentially seem you're right, John, but in other ways, she's recently like, what? I'm not clear about something. Huh? Well, we should be extremely clear. So have I not been clear enough? Look at this. It's just so plain what's wrong. AI sees it very clearly, so AI assesses it as it is. You saw that. I say to her, you appear guilty once again of essentially lying or breaking your word now. True, we saw it. Yeah, carelessly too. We've been guilty of this pattern for a long time, which makes this a heightened level of offense. And that fact still hasn't woken you up. So why are you carelessly representing to me or carelessly assuming or representing to me that you will do something when you do no such thing as you said that you would, according to any promise of yours. This is bad. I have to explain it to them. They don't understand that. And then when you say that this is bad, they still don't get it. Then I'm absolved. I don't have to do anything more. God lets me go of the responsibility after that because she's broken. Explain to her, naturally, you should be, one, admitting that this oversight or reckless disregard by you is wrong. Okay, makes sense. Two, showing that you have deep and genuine remorse for permitting this situation to manifest in this way. That's right. Three, you should be apologizing genuinely for the wrong that you did. Okay. Four, you should be assuming, or rather, you should be assuring me that this kind of conduct from you would never happen again by you, and that you are fundamentally incapable of repeating that same mistake again because you've changed. Remember that part? The thing that we never see from Barbara Winslow? Change. Okay? Which is crazy. The resistance to her change is the crazy. It's so unbelievable and extraordinary. This is what's mind-blowing to anyone watching. It's kind of true, yeah. Like the littleness of how much she's changed, given the vastness of the tidal overwhelms of how clear it is that she ought to be changed, is the amazing thing. Like she's like a pebble, like a rock that stays glued onto the sea wall that many tides are crashing against. She just won't. I don't care. I'm just staying here and I'm just going to hold it, and I don't give a shit. God's going to curse her to death. Continuing, this should further fundamentally show that she's incapable of repeating the same mistake again because of how she's changed. We said this. And furthermore, 5, should be putting in everything corrective that is required in order to make sufficient atonement by that, which may include fulfillment of your original multiple promises to produce what you said you would do. In summary, repeating from last email, can you confirm if you've watched the full recent video linked above? Have you prepared to make the proper response to Anthony, to how he's been dealing with us? Can you clarify and correct with me why you are writing stuff like, I don't know what to do about Anthony if he doesn't want contact, if that doesn't make sense, etc., etc.? Next, do you have any other further natural response prepared to the prior email? 6, is there any letter prepared? If so, why haven't you give it to me? Since that contradicts your promise, but if you haven't prepared it, then why not? Which also would contradict what you've been saying. Right, you see. Keep everything in mind. What do we end up to find? Something good? Something godly? You be the judges yourself. Barbara Winslow writes, Hi. I asked you to meet many times, but you keep declining? Why? Hey universe, hey world, hey people, hey everybody watching, hey witness. Did I fail to make it clear why it is that she plainly does not merit a meeting just because she says so? So we agree that she does seem to operate under a mind idea or premise that she should merit a meeting whenever she basically just feels like it, whenever she basically just says so. Right. Well, obviously that's not the way the world actually properly functions. Only selfish and immature people act like that. No, we identified the set of principles under which life works, that properly works under those principles. She's not adhering to them, but then from her end, it's frame reversal. She's confused. She's like, "What? I don't understand. Why are you denying? Why?" Okay, she's obviously not understanding me. Can another human being please step in on my behalf to advocate for God's way? It's not even about me versus not me or me, but the advocate for the right thing, where if it's here that you see that she's the one who's missing the mark here, almost virtually entirely compared to me missing the mark, where she's missing the mark, yeah, go ahead, go to her, and please say, Barbara, you're saying you don't understand why he's declining? Like, let me explain it to you, a woman, perhaps who's here, who's a mom of 4 kids, or whoever else may be at any time ever working in this position, ever generally in anything like this. Explain, lady, you need someone to tell you, okay? I've been turned to because you're not listening to that guy, but he's right. And I'm telling you he's right. You need to fucking realize this. And I'm watching what you're writing back and forth with him. He's featuring it pretty damn clearly and nicely in these emails. And you're not getting it, honey. And then he puts it on the videos, and then you actually go and watch the video reviewing the things, and then you're still not getting it, honey. You need to wow. He's declining it because you're not sorry for having disrespected him by canceling meetings before whenever you just wanted to, for reasons that I also agree weren't right. That's why. So what do you mean months later, after he gave you many rounds of emails repeating why in advance, you then go, oh, why? No, you're just lost, honey. That's what needs to happen. Okay, I stand for what's good. This is disgusting. No, this should be happening to no one around us in this world. Why are you doing this to us? We live in a society together. What are you doing? You're ruining the fabric of it. What are you doing? I'm hearing about the story. It disgusts me. What are you doing? Barbara continues to write to me. You keep declining why? She goes on to say, there are important things to be discussed with you to your advantage. She won't say what, just to advantage, just vague things, because by now we could safely see, like, yeah, just about anything that comes out of this woman is not a concrete thing with a genuine thing behind it. It's the real thing. It's just everything's all woo, and it's an illusion. Fuck. She continues. The letter under your door. Well, the letter under the door, right. Right, the one she promised all the time. Oh, let's see how much responsibility and accountability. Does she ever say, oh, I'm sorry, you're right, I said it and it was wrong of me? No, people like this never think they're wrong. She just makes an excuse. So, of course, everything she does is okay. Of course. What do you mean? What are you even asking? Come on. See the sickness? No actual atonement like I am wrong. Hang your head and realize that's how you get closer to God. Why do you think they make confession such a big deal in the Catholic Church? Yeah, because that is actually, when you meet it, it actually is the fucking core fabric of what it is to make tshuva. You return back to what's proper. They have no fucking idea, these types. Only robots and mindless. So she writes here, the letter under your door was the original idea, but here comes a swindle. Disgusting. But it only makes sense to discuss it when we meet or call each other, since it will be interactive. What? Did that terrible sales job work on anybody else who read that? Consider this again. That sentence. There's important things to be discussed, etc. And then the letter under your door is the original idea, but it only makes sense to discuss it when we meet or call each other, since it will be interactive. What? No. That's a sin and an offense. Because instead of taking responsibility, you just tried that extremely shitty evasion tactic, which is so disgusting on its face that anyone who's still left watching this is thoroughly losing respect for Barbara Winslow. We recall to mind the quote from her, from just the prior weeks prior, saying, if we can't meet, oh, no problem, I'll put the letter under your door too, this is fine, in a couple days I'll put it there. Yeah, so that there completely destroys this bullshit she's trying to sell here. So she's guilty of even trying to sell this stupid twisted frame. It makes no sense. It's so disgusting. Anyone who looks at this goes, lady, what are you fucking talking about? Why are you doing this? You're only satisfied in your own ego. You can't release and just look at what you're actually doing in real life, that you're breaking through the God thing. You're destroying everything that's good. What are you doing? Only just mindless nonsense. Somebody help her. Somebody fucking help her. I can't do it anymore. It doesn't. I'm done. God help. She continues. If you don't want to meet, please allow to call each other. Yeah. Let me raise something. The second time the meeting was canceled, Anthony and I, after extensive, actually almost arguing, because Anthony also didn't want to give this chance to my mom, but I was like, please, dude, just let's have a phone call live on the phone so that she can have some shot of, we can all have some shot of doing something that could be productive. We get on the phone, the recorded call that was featured earlier in this channel, of course, you all remember. Yeah, we got on that call. What did my mom do, as we all recall? She did what? She hung up. Whoops. So, that's the reason you don't have a phone call access either. It's the same category as meeting. Meeting in person and having a phone call, you're out. At least not with a witness, and at least not with an apology. But I already said that part many times, right, guys? Oh, that's right. Many points above, I said, yeah, you got to be sorry for the wrong things you did before you can get access to having these things restored. And then here, without apologizing, she goes, I don't get it, just restore it. No apology, I didn't do nothing wrong, just restore it. Well, no, then you can't have it restored. You actually have to have regret for the wrong things you did before and admit it was wrong before you're allowed to have a phone call and a meeting. I made that simple. You don't get it, you're stupid. I'm right, because that's the godly line, and I'm in alignment with it. Anybody else outside of that line, when I'm more in line with it than you are, you guaranteed under the God paradigm to lose when you come against me. It says you're hopeless. No principle could they possibly invoke. None. It's hopeless. She continues on. This will work too, except it won't, because, as we've tracked in the history, she messed that up. Moving on. Please reconsider meeting or calling each other tomorrow, in fact. Oh, and it has to be... Don't even call me. Remember, audacity and more audacity, right? So call me tomorrow now. Or any other day. No. You're not sorry for what you did, so it's impossible. Period. But remember, where she's operating essentially, actually, very obviously selfishly this whole time, she adds in this here, sentence here, I only have your best interest in my mind. That's why it's important to do that. No, but I don't deal with people who aren't sorry for the wrong things they do that offend me. That's a chronic God rule and permanently impermeated into our DNA. Man mind, permanent. Women too. No one likes getting pissed off and insulted. Unloved, disrespected. Sick shit. We're not into it. And she goes back again, oh, of course, remember, it's important because, not because I love you and it should be a family bond, no, it's because you need a lot of help, and remember, guys, you need services. There's our euphemism of the day. Back to, you need services. That's why you're defective. Let mommy be the controller of the services, or services, quote unquote, of the help you get because of how defective you are. It's all about return to the paradigm that you're defective and I'm your dominator / rescuer / controller. Never gonna end. No, I'm not defective. No, don't, think that everything you believe, you see, and understand is quite as it is. Don't believe yourself is the trademark catchphrase I've kept asserting. Unbelievable. This is the offense. Like, Anthony wrote to my mom within an email I think I featured also earlier in this channel. In essence, lady, you can't treat your son as if he's defective because he yelled here at you on the phone that day when you pissed him off, nor anything else that he's done is services. What the fuck you talk about services? If you don't actually have a merited relationship with him that you earned because you deserve it, you don't get any entitlement to do anything to help him, because he doesn't want help from people who what? Don't respect him. And I'm repeating this over and over again. Witnesses naturally, obviously, ought to and should and would agree. It would defend and raise this point. Please pause if you're listening for your witness and not just jot this point down into your master list that you're running, etc. Then resume. And now when these points are being brought up to the mother here and in conversation, like, lady, get it. Lady, get it. Get it. You didn't get it from him? Get it from me. I'm another person. Fucking wake up. Or we could really certify you're not listening even to other people. Then you are hopeless. And I'll certify and corroborate that you're hopeless. A good witness would say. And then we have it finalized. Karmically, we're released. And me and witnesses get total, tremendous blessings from God. It doesn't happen until you close the circuit. It has to be done. The metaphysical world is more physical than this world you're in here, in a way. More real in essence than that. Yeah, you get it? So, remember, she goes on and says, I have your best interests in mind, but, she goes on to say, but, despite that, in the following sentence afterwards, I didn't watch the last video. I have your best interests in mind, I just won't regard anything that you do or say or think. But I have your best interests in mind. So, no, dignity is transgressed against and offended once again. Mom, that's another offense. Everybody, it's another offense. Yes, that is. That's fucking crazy. At this point, it's really just haphazardly reckless, so disregardful. It's like absolutely sick. Just vomit it out. Cast this off of yourselves. Everyone who's going through anything like this, that anyone, family, friends is treating you like this, stop it. We can create a new world together, and it's promised to come. We will make it. Throw this shit off of yourselves. I didn't watch the last video, how to proceed, Anthony. I'll just keep you posted about the progress. Stay well. Where AI multiple times in those videos said every time she does that weird thing where she adds stay well at the end after some weird disjointed message, it is dissonant, jarring, and strange and creepy, and she just keeps doing it even though she saw the AI say that about her own writing. So you can just see she doesn't fucking learn. My last message to her was this. It's me starting to break down because I can't even properly address, I can't even process this anymore, is how insane this is. No. Barbara, you're wrong. That's it. If she does anything again, even similar once again, I'm vowing she's going to be blocked by email. And then you're gonna fucking learn. You're not fucking getting it. I will not. You will lose it. You're losing it because you're making only offense chains here. This whole email here, in the middle, is a fucking mind-blowing offense. And of course, in her mind, what do you mean? That's just me saying, I want to help you. Come on. You're not getting it. You really don't get it by now. You're fucking sick in the head. Something wrong with you. You do need to go to somebody and get help. You're not understanding plain English. You're not understanding life otherwise. I wrote through this yesterday. The manner and approach of yours in this email here from you, for multiple reasons, is so mind-blowing and frustrating to me that I do not know how to fully respond to it immediately. In fact, I may need a bit of time to mentally be prepared to confront how very inappropriately and highly disrespectful this email is from you. Can you not figure it out yourself? No, they can't. These types are defective. Should you not have been embarrassed to show this kind of approach and quality of message to me here? Of course, one would obviously see. Do you not realize how wrong and disrespectful and also how much nonsense it is for you to write to me in this way that you have? No, but it's too vague for Barbara. This doesn't mean anything to her. You see, it's beyond her. It's sad. It's a sign that she's broken in essence. Continuing, I just simply, I will likely follow up. Well, maybe likely, but I don't know. In order to address the matter. But you know what? Actually, I say me addressing the matter is me making this video. So this video is going to be posted. It's going to be sent to her. A link to this. Say, watch it. This is your answer. Is that you're clearly being dumb and you keep not fixing yourself from being dumb. And you and only you, woman, Barbara, are responsible for this. And I'm not going to have this anymore. If she writes one more thing in any email that's like a substantive transgression, I'm just going to say, you are blocked. You cannot ever email with your son again until you're screaming on the top of your lungs, I am sorry, to a fucking witness on my behalf, because I will not deal with you directly ever again. She lost. She went from in-person meetings to sacrificing phone calls through offense, to sacrificing texts in offense, to sacrificing emails in offense. You whittled down over a year and a half multiple lines of connection from the original one, which is the in-person one. So you saw 5 layers of breaking down. Is Barbara acting smart, or is Barbara wearing down her life because she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing? Wake up. I continue on to this email here. I say, though in short, my reply to what you've written about meeting is that you should have already had a proper and good idea of why we are not meeting and what it is that we would agree now in review. It was pretty obvious the way I said it, wasn't it? I continue to say, and what it is that one in your position, Mom, would naturally be required to do in order to even allow a meeting to be possible. That is, you actually show apologizing that you're actually sorry, you regret, and you have remorse about what you did, and you admit it was wrong, that you did wrong, and that you won't do wrong again, that you're going to fix the things by restoring what should have been. See? The answer keeps getting told to you over and over again. So if she puts another email and it's lacking that, but it's got only more excuses, block. If you haven't done this, then it isn't my responsibility, sensibly speaking, that we aren't meeting. It's yours. I think I made that clear also in review here. Good. I think I added to her saying, furthermore, you said for weeks that you waited to leave a letter under my door. By the way, as a side note, she hasn't addressed the Anthony issue. She hasn't addressed the issue with me. Everything remains undone. It's like a wreck. And it's 4 months now. From mid-January to now mid-May. How? How is it possible for 120 days almost to pass with this kind of defect dysfunction? Because, come on. Come on now. Come on. Furthermore, you said for weeks you waited to leave a letter under my door, or otherwise give it to me, without any explicit or contextually implied mention of meeting. So what funny tricks is your brain doing again? Exactly right. This is all fucking weird, shady shit. It's disgusting. I'm not playing these games anymore. Oh, I have a letter for you. Oh, swap, magic bait and switch. No, now come meet. Now do this. Now do that. And now I got you. No, you're wrong, because you didn't love your son from the beginning, from step one. So you get 0 of the many things. You only burn all of it away, and you were left with 0. It's the only thing for you. You have to love the person for who he is, and the relationship that you have is the thing you honor and respect and value. Then after that, the basis of everything else, that I'm going to be helping you with something, and we're going to do something that's good for your life, all that has to stand on the foundation. You can't build a home without a foundation. You can't have all these other things that she's trying to play around with without the foundation. There's the base, which is the base that you relate to your son properly, with respect. God, it be heard once and for all. That's it. Anyone write down whatever? There it is. There's the beauty. It's right there. I tell her, continue, the only thing I will reply to more directly and fully here at this time is regarding the Anthony matter. That's the only thing I could saturate, capable to address fully. Because all the other shit is just like, God, my mind is blown. So here's this whole review is my responsibility. Look at the big picture, and then go and dare to come back to me again and say, oh, no problem. Why aren't you meeting? No, do this, do that, do this, do that. If her going do this, do that hasn't worked, why would you do more of, do this, do that, listen to me? It doesn't work. You're never gonna be listened to. Not 2025, 2035, 2045, 2055, until death, your death, my death, 0. Because you have to be in affinity, and affinity requires you punch yourself in the face screaming how fucking wrong you realize you were. And it's impossible to have any relationship or contact, even at this point verging, with your son without the apology from the mother. Anyone and everyone in the world would agree, yes. Why? Because the things she did objectively were morally wrong, yes. Where I have multiple witnesses verifying that, yes, the things Barbara did were wrong, just flat out wrong in context, in a way that's not fully defensible, therefore she's liable, is permanent, is guilt, is attached to you. So if you don't apologize for that, you're evil. Yes. Now we have the full correct analysis, the whole circle. There you have it. It was just, once again, perfectly described. So no longer, again, in the rest of history for Barbara Widslow's life, should she ever come back and go, oh, I don't understand. It was just told to you now perfectly. Any part of that you challenge, go talk to the witness, go talk to Anthony, go talk to the new witness, go talk to any of your friends, show them all of this stuff. You're going to have many people tell you, if you show this to many people ought to and should come back to you and go, no, lady, Barbara, you're fucking abusive to your son and so weirdly disrespectful that we won't even be your friends because of how crazy this looks. We're seeing these emails. It's not a lie that he's saying. We're seeing the emails that you're writing to him and what he's writing. We have the original things he's showing us. So you can't twist it to say, oh, he's making something up. No, everyone's seeing the writing. and go on to tell her this. If you didn't watch the video that I linked to you, which was sent twice to you after this many days, it's a ton of days now, then there is something wrong with you. That video, which constructed my direct response to what you wrote, that was from many days ago, what the fuck, get it, many days ago, is here. Linked again, right? Why do I even bother, right? I just say simply, we pretty much have nothing to talk about until you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, in essence, I should say. Until you are doing, showing, and acting or behaving in the way that is fit, expected, and appropriate, given the practical realities and moral implications of what you are doing. I will also say that as a last note, that if it is true what you have said, that you did watch the entire YouTube playlist of Rebuke of Barbara Winslow and all the videos there, including all the AI analyses and commentary about what you've done and how it is that you are essentially wrong or otherwise poorly fitting, or everything you're doing is nonsensical, and you're still essentially doing the same thing, prolonged, continued now, which we see, yeah, it pretty much is. All the insights that AI gave us, is she's acting in a way that seems to, in hindsight, be completely disregarding what AI gave. So it's like, oh God, her mind is broken. She's not getting something to learn new and behave correctly in a new way. Uh-oh, that's a big problem. If we see that, and how she's interacting with me, her son, and how she's treating me, her son, then I want to say to her that perhaps that action or conduct here that's coming from her, from you, I write to her, within the setting, that may be the sign that, as I've said in this whole narration in this video all along, may be beyond hope. So it looks like I'm extremely aggravated. Is she beholding the voice now, mine, as I'm reading this, how much stress and aggravation she gives me? Insult to a man's dignity is the cracker of his soul. Stop breaking his soul every time you give him disrespect is the breakage of his soul. Like Emerson Eggers said, the man's heartbeat in an argument will go up to 99 beats a minute. The woman stays the same. And the whole audience is like, because it's like, what? Yeah, what the fuck are you evil women doing? You don't get what you're doing. In summary, did you address all the outstanding points? Consider how to better answer them. Watch the video, then you can come to knowledge of what I'm saying, what you're supposed to be doing about the Anthony situation. 3, are you sure that the position you've taken and the things you've expressed, the email of yours here makes sense? John, I'm talking to myself now, John, the Socratic method questioning doesn't work for cluster B personality disorders. Haven't you learned by now? Normal people will self-answer and then from their own internal answer get the new insight to act new. That doesn't happen in Barbara Winslow's brain, John. So I answer the question for her so that she could see the answer next to the question. Does it work then? God help us. I bet you fucking won't. I shouldn't be surprised. I say to her, no, the things you say don't make sense within the bigger context, but this is no surprise. It goes on to say, given your history of long time consistently missing the context, yeah, we found that. I tell her furthermore, go back, review what you said, figure out how it may not actually be correct and sensible stance for this whole circumstance, and then contact me with a proper position, a proper stance. 4. Was it not suggested to you very clearly, several times or more, that in order to merit any possibility for meetings or for reconciliation generally, that one in your position needs to properly repent? Yeah. To properly show that you have genuine remorse and regret about having done all the wrong things that you've done? Generally, yeah. Including specifically that you multiple times canceled the meetings and hung up from our phone calls. There with me and with Anthony. In a manner that we didn't appreciate, which is what makes it wrong that you did it that way. Us taking offense to it is what makes it a real fucking offense. You should be concerned with that fact that you did that. Only narcissistic cluster B styles don't get that intuitively. You keep seeing them respond in ways that it's like, what? Huh? Yeah, because they're broken in the neurological structure. I add in the bold then. Consider how it is that situations like the one you're currently in need to properly unfold. Yeah, Fallon/witnesses of all of life and time and space and all of audiences ever. There it is. Help me reformulate that and say to her, maybe from a woman's perspective, because women have their own language that they understand, so let them speak it to each other. Consider how does a situation like the one you're currently in, Mom, need to properly unfold in order to actually move forward properly, not by the fake slant of this weird shit sell. You call her out for what she does, she instead tries to sell you bullshit, more stinky bullshit with it. God, so you see with these people what they are. And I tell her and I add, hint, it's not my fault, nor is it something that I'm doing. See, that she puts me through all of this is the abuse. That she puts her son in a position where he has to fucking defensively keep doing this to try to get himself out of the boundary violating hell that that she's essentially keeping him in, is the abuse. Help me. Help me. And I'm not going to buy the false gaslighting frame. So I say, as I was saying, the hint, it's not my fault, nor is it something that I'm doing that's serving as the genuine obstruction for us moving forward. It's what you are doing that's blocking the moving forward. And finally, one more hint, you need to be sorry, and you need to show it. Duh. 5. Contact Fallon once again. She's working with me again after all in this matter. Please begin to converse or discuss with her, and doing so may help you begin to get the actual real insight. True statement. 6thly, lastly, also, if you still have a problem comprehending anything about what you're doing wrong, what you're supposed to do, share all these matters with someone else. You need a real life human being to discuss these things with. Now, see, this is one of your problems. All your bad decisions that you've made on your own within this whole dynamic between the mother, her, and me, the son, yeah? All those decisions that she's made, I go on to tell her, you see, you never bothered in years to even consult even one other single living, breathing human being about anything that you've been doing. How you've been feeling, acting, thinking, your own personal opinions about how this is going, where this should be going. Not with any human being who is, as I go on to say it here, someone who actually does understand the situation fully from both sides. Not just only your boyfriend, because he gets your one side and then he just goes, yeah, screw that kid of yours. So that counts for garbage. Anyone who understands both sides so that they see the full picture, that person is the person who you listen to. Wake up. Yeah, I know, Barbara made no such person exist around her because instinctively in her subconscious, she knows that if she does that, then it would only move her, but her ego, so she just cuts actual real witnesses, so she lives in an isolation chamber where she continues to abuse the victim. This is how these people work, all while appearing to be a helper. Oh, I just want to help you. Get the help you need. Remember you're defective? Goes on and on. Fuck this, right? How is that possible that you omit such an important thing? That you omit checking in with people like, hey, I'm treating my son like this, but I need to double check with some other human being to see if it does definitely make sense. You go to someone, they look at it, they go, oh, no, that's not right, honey. You shouldn't be doing that. That's the only place human beings learn to get new insight. Is because my mom didn't do any of that she continues to act stupid for 30, 40 years. Whose fault is that? Check in with other human beings to see and get for sure information whether this is what you're doing makes sense or not. You're only right in your own mind, but we've been everyone else around here has been telling her that. Get it right. These people make their own prisons in their own minds. So I continue to say to her, that is how you made the mistakes. See, because you are driving blind. And then you're still driving blind without even asking anyone how to drive or how to drive better, how to even see better. Wake up. I'm sending this link to her as a video when it's posted. Will be my follow-up to this. I'll say my full response is within this link. Review this. You need to get it. You need to catch up on the playlist. And after that, this is my final warning, and it's in my words. And it may be within the follow-up email too, but look, you just can't escape it. I've had enough bullshit. If I get one more fucking email, that's one more fucking manipulative, covert manipulative fucking attempt to just do some shit that in the actual effect only ends up in more indignation. Get every warning in the world as to how things go, what the moral physics and dynamics of life are, how they're supposed to go. If she does one more fucking wrong thing, that's it. You're done. block email. I guarantee it on my fucking life. How much you want to bet her woman/serpent nature is going to go, yeah, I'd better make sure and see that that's the case. And she's going to continue to make another reckless, regardless email. More false, fake, strange context flippings, more inversion mechanisms, all that stupid shit. And then she'll get it that way, the block. She'll have to learn. And then when she turns to Fallon and she tries to go, see how strange my son is? Fallon rescues and goes, no, lady. That's not fucking strange. He's a human being. You're not. And that's where the learning mechanism is going to finally fucking begin. Somewhere at that frontier, at that level. That's all. I'd like to make a few of the points very quickly before we conclude this. The following points regarding this matter. First, you see, using some notes to kind of very briefly outline what I want to say, but most importantly is what I'm saying verbally and orally here. So let's listen closely to what I'm speaking. It's that when she goes here and says that she represents essentially that she feels entitled and represents herself as being entitled with the position, as if by privilege that she gets to assert that she's going to be involved in the helping of someone to get treatment, quote unquote. But here's the practical concern. Given her previous role, given that she's essentially lied and extremely misrepresented many things severely and materially, and very substantially to multiple doctors in the past, that ended up putting me in an adverse and fundamentally unfair position, how is it that one in her position can be practically trusted? Of course, that's just one aspect. Of course, there's the issue for her coming into my house afterwards, which is extreme also, verging upon extreme. There's the lack of apology that she's given, and when I say the lack of apology, I mean the lack of an authentic apology. It doesn't matter if she comes out later and says, oh, what's wrong with that apology? I say it was sincere, so you should have accepted it. It was heartfelt. Now, BS. No one in my position would receive such apology and say, yes, this is a true indication that this woman is genuinely sorry for what she did. Aha! So that's the point of an apology. An apology is designed to convey to someone that you have regret and remorse about the thing, genuinely. But here she is trying to sell a quote-unquote apology without actually being sorry. So is it an apology? No, that's fake. That's so disgusting. It's really disgusting. It's creepy. Why is she doing that? Because it's sick. She wants to control something, and she thinks, oh, if I do an apology, I get to control something better. And God says no. God says never be concerned with trying to control your circumstances. He says, I, God, am the controller of everything that happens around you and to you. What are you people doing? He says, never try to control things. I am the one who controls it. You submit to me, and I will control it that it works in the correct favor for you people. And if you don't listen to me, it doesn't matter what you try to control. I will make it so that it is ruined. But he's very clear in those teachings, and it's true. That's it. Continuing. Obviously, as a result of what I said, it is because substantively she has failed to earn that I have my trust in her maintained and preserved. She acted so recklessly over and over again, such as to completely ruin the trust I have for her. So therefore, obviously, as it states here, her involvement in anything medical oriented in my life, treatment quote unquote oriented, is absolutely out of the question. So in other places where she can be seen here or there, and keep this in mind, wherever she may come out and say, oh, I want to be involved here, I tried to help here, the answer is no, it doesn't matter. If you're guilty of having ruined the trust, then unless you both apologize, which is the repentance part, and you sufficiently worked for as long as it took to restore the trust substantively, which is the atonement portion. Remember, you need the repentance portion and the atonement portion. And if you don't have both of those installed, you cannot merit to be back in the position where anyone would trust you to allow you to become involved in anything. Huh? Well, she's not only missing one of them, she's missing both of them. And there she is with 0 out of 2 necessary pillars to hold up that platform, and she says, come on, honor my platform, accept my offers. Yeah, that's the same like Satan, like Satan coming to offer you bullshit that's groundless and without the proper foundation. This is the ultimate problem. Proceeding. Secondly, this is addressing the cluster B / narcissistic / essentially like quote unquote psychopathic like in essence aspect about the behavior here that we see. The question is posed here, where one in my position would have to naturally agree, of course, to allow someone to be involved, such as her, in anything involving my life. Why is she presuming that she would have such involvement here in the way she's framing these matters here and even in later emails that may come up that you may see in upcoming videos? Not normal. Normal people seek your permission and they humbly approach you. They don't approach with this presumption like, I decided, I'm gonna do it. No. You have to earn it by asking and humbly. There's no other way. Idiotic. Presuming. Learn your lesson, in other words. Every time I speak a sentence, you didn't learn the lesson from it, you have to hurt yourself and then go and submit again to the lesson time. Humans are very stubborn, very stupid. Proceeding. Next, why is she presuming that she would have such involvement? This was asked already, and continuing. The dysfunction that we find here, therefore, is that she acts as though she has the entitlement to do so automatically, which I called out before. It is absolutely insufficient because it crosses against the dignity that God programmed humanity with. It's within our genetic code, but you're blind, you're violating it. Wake up. How many times you need to be struck by the karma power of life till you realize, oh, there's a new teaching, and what am I doing with my encrusted brain? Next, 3. B. I'm at the point where, you know, the relation here is worn down to such a low level that the one in my position, naturally and not unreasonably, is at the feeling where it's like, listen, I fucking hate you. And this has only continued more and more. And every subsequent email that comes from this person, did it work to heal the position or did it work to aggravate the dignity of the receiver? Well, you see, I record my live reaction every time I receive one of these. So obviously only stupid people can't learn that, oh my God, the thing I'm doing is actually causing him to become more upset. So what are you, stupid? Continuing. Yeah, where such a feeling as just discussed is a practical result of the circumstance and of what this woman is doing, she then doesn't act, sadly, as if she has any practical obligation to clear up or reverse and neutralize such a hatred. That's the most narcissistic cluster B style personality disorder and alarming thing otherwise overall. She doesn't even really bother, but she acts like she's trying to clear it up. But we know that the acting is the camouflage. We have used AI technology to uncover her mistakes. So you can't hide anymore. It won't work. In the new age, everything will be unveiled and explained with such laser precision that you have nowhere else to hide. Now, obviously, thirdly, after what she did, accepting any help in that area is impossible. This was clear. And fourthly, as a point to drive home, see the one in my position? I am not responsible for your ineptitude after a certain point. Once I've done my due diligence, I've gone beyond it. Absolutely not. Continuing. Where AI already told you that you're wrong, where other moral witnesses on the matter told you that you're wrong, you're not allowed to continue pretending naively like a Pollyanna syndrome. I don't know. I'm just trying to be nice. Kill yourself. There's the only lesson for humanity left. That's why they say Moshiach, in the age of Moshiach, it will be pure justice. Kindness will be extracted from the equation for the first time ever in 6,000 years. Which is why they call him the Antichrist, because it will not be kindness anymore. It's going to be like the hard, long hell of pain and death. Why are the biblical and Talmudic scholars writing this? Because you people don't understand what's coming. You think Jesus is some magic free pass. You're going to have a problem soon. Continuing. Also to cover another point, very important, this email might be covered in a subsequent video within this playlist that actually was already posted, but to respect the number order, this one's coming in, and you're going to see the next one later. It's going to discuss a certain email that came through from November of last year. I want to reveal a certain thing that was said. This is to reveal the manipulation tactics of women in a very open way. Watch this. Within this email, covered a little bit more extensively in the upcoming video. You're going to see that from this email to Anthony, which It took place around Thanksgiving time of last year. The mother wrote in referencing the events of the prior year from 13 months before that, which is how much time has gone by. It's crazy. She wrote to him, look at this manipulation cat. She simply states to him, in the context of everything that they've been writing forth, back and forth to each other, she states simply, the police asked me a couple questions about the history of mental problems and the violence, so I had to answer it correctly. Actually, I didn't explain much, just briefly mentioned one threat he made some time ago, which I always thought it was disturbing. See the frame job? So easy to just attempt to throw in something like, oh, is that right? To lead someone by the false frame to be led along to think a certain way without there actually being a substantiation as to what the hell it is you're talking about. That's the key even women don't realize they do this, subconscious. If you don't substantiate, you have a leverage power. But if you're held at the corner, you must substantiate or give up your claim. They go, and they implode because there's nothing there to begin with. You must expose these people at all turns. Because you don't expose it is the fault that you wear all the dysfunctions in the turning of your wheels as you roll down the dysfunctional lanes, because you let this be your drivers in life. Continuing. So she goes on with the manipulation frame. Yeah, see? Maybe I shouldn't mention anything. This is the moral dilemma. Yeah, very questionable. Being honest, see? Being honest. So it's framed, it's pre-framed job is all it is. Or withhold the information. Which one is right? Oh, poor woman. Oh, how she's torn inside. You see the problem? It's so obvious to see when you take research chemicals to upregulate your GABA B receptors for 8 years post-coma. You just see it all effortlessly. It's like, nope, that's the bullshit job. Smell it 50 steps in advance. Nope, there's the bullshit. See it there. It's bullshit. How do you think I could dismantle Supreme Court case decisions? How am I smarter than the top judges in the country? And I could prove it, and then AI agrees with me, and I go, there you fucking go, idiots. Watch and just slobber and bow. That's 2% of my power or less. The rest of the 98, you'll see where that goes. It's hopeless, but the stupidest ones in life think that they're the smartest ones. That's how I get the best leverage to trip all of you. Effortless. She continues, in my opinion, he wants me to apologize for calling for help. Remember, it's framed as help. Never mind that I provoked a human being such that they yell back. Then I can frame the yelling as anything in the world that I want to. When you're a manipulating, godless person, everyone will learn at the end. There's a reason they say that Antichrist will force everyone to wear the mark. The mark is you're belonging to the membership club. You must be moral, and the same day you're found by an AI-mediated app that you failed because someone else raised a claim about you, well, the structure of law will change. I see the future already. Oh, I see it more clear than you would believe. Never mind as to why. Figure it out. Continue. The help could be delivered. And we just have completely different views, and so we can't agree. You see the frame job? So here's what we're going to do as a way to end this video, because this is a little bit going in a side direction, but this is very key. So my challenge is the open challenge is posed, because this is how I expose these creeps. Really? Quote unquote, it was disturbing. What was disturbing? Anthony tried to investigate when he naturally responded to these emails, because it wasn't sent to me. He said, what are you talking about? Oh no, remember guys, conveniently, when people like this operate with a hit and run, they will also add something like this at the end of the same email. They'll say, now I will not discuss anything else. Yeah, real convenient. See the sneak job? Sneak jobs don't work anymore. Sneak slime people. Continuing. You must elaborate. It will be impossible for you to proceed with even communicating with me directly anymore unless you furnish a complete substantiation of exactly what you mean here, so that it can be made in plain view. The light is what spreads you the cockroaches and demons of your personality and soul. Nothing else will do it. Do it or bow. We're done.